What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. I need headphones. It helps. It would. For your holiday gatherings and family photos, call AFTA on Edison Road with Mishawaka today at 277-2220. All right. Visit our website at AFTA. Excuse me.
The holiday season is here, and it's time for our best offer of the year during the Ford Black Friday event. Now, for a limited time, get 20% estimated savings on select 2019 Ford models. You're ready, and so are we. Start the season off right, and don't wait to enjoy our best deal of the season. That is 20% estimated savings on select 2019 Ford models. The Ford Black Friday event ends soon, so hurry in today. Eligible on select 2019 model year vehicles. Dealer must arrive at dealer at least 61 days prior to the sale date. Estimated savings include an average dealer discount based on the sales survey and average discounts offered by Ford dealers nationally. Discount may vary. Dealer determines price. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by December 2nd, 2019. See participating dealers for complete details. From the Final Phase Electric Studios.
From the first step to the final phase, industrial and commercial electrical done right. This is Casey Hendrickson on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel, your breaking news and weather station.
Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. I do want to remind everybody that on Fridays we do the final hour free-for-all at 4 o'clock now. And if it continues to be hopping at 5 o'clock, we'll just continue with open lines. Otherwise, we will just wrap up the show with a couple of basically house clearing items, if you will. But because of the O'Reilly update, we now do the open lines in the 4 o'clock hour, not the 5 o'clock hour. So if you would like to participate, go ahead and call at 4 o'clock. I know that a lot of people are talking about impeachment. We will as well. But I wanted to go ahead and do something else. Okay, so we'll do some different things. Start off with that. We'll eventually make our way into impeachment. And then I assume that some of you would like to ask some questions or make some comments about it in the open lines anyway. I want to thank our sponsors, Second Amendment Arms and Range, located in New Carlisle. If you mention me, you get 50% off your range time. Go to secondamendmentarms.net for more information. So back in May, I told you about 3 judges from Indiana who got in a brawl at a White Castle parking lot, which resulted in 2 people being shot. So that was in May. Listeners sent me an update on this yesterday. I've been sitting here waiting for an update on this story, so thank you for sending that to me. 3 Indiana judges have been temporarily suspended without pay over their involvement in a drunken brawl in a White Castle parking lot earlier this year that ended with 2 of them shot. Judges Andrew Adams, Bradley Jacobs, and Sabrina Bell were attending a judicial conference in Indianapolis in May when they gathered at a bar to drink for several hours before deciding to head to a strip club called the Red Garter. The establishment was closed, so at around 3:15 a.m., they wound up at, well, where else would you go at 3:15? But a White Castle. So while a 4th judge accompanying them went inside the restaurant, Adams, Jacobs, and Bell remained outside. During that time, a car with 2 male passengers drove by, yelled something out of the window. Bell reacted by flipping them the bird. The men rolled into the parking lot to confront the judges, who were described in court documents as being, quote, in a heavily intoxicated state. I mean, there are business trips, but you're an Indiana judge. You're only going to the state capitol, for crying out loud. You're just going to Indianapolis. It's not even like a big road trip. So they do this. They go drinking. It's 3:15 in the morning. They try to go to a strip club. The strip club is closed. All right, you realize they're partying after the strip clubs aren't even open anymore. And, well, technically they're open, but only for private parties. And then they go ahead and they get in an altercation with somebody, well, two people, in a parking lot at a White Castle by flipping people off, of all things, okay? It's a very interesting situation for a judge to find themselves in. So what do we have here? A heavily intoxicated state. Okay. NBC News reported that the confrontation ended when one of the men from the car, identified as Brandon Kaiser, pulled a gun, shot Adams once and Jacobs twice. Both judges were seriously injured and were hospitalized for several days. According to NPR, the Indiana Supreme Court was less than impressed. In an opinion posted this week, the court decided to hand down penalties to the judges, not primarily to punish a judge, but rather to preserve the integrity of and public confidence in the judicial system. Could you imagine having to go in front of one of these three judges with any one of your cases and have them judge you? I mean, who wants to be judged by a group of judges, or by a judge, I should say, because you only have one of them when you go and you visit. Who wants to be judged by these people who got drunk, tried to go to a strip club's closed, went to White Castle, flipped some people off, and got in an argument in a parking lot at 3:15 in the morning? Who wants to be judged by somebody like that? What else do we have here? Jacobs and Bell were both given 30 days unpaid suspensions from the bench, and Adams was handed a 60-day suspension with no pay. Adams' punishment was greater because he pled guilty to battery charges related to the incident earlier this year. Who's your pride? I just I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. But hey, I guess judges are people too, and if they want to go get drunk and go to a strip club and hang out with one another, who knows? Who knows how that night might have ended with the three of them also. You never know. All right, 574-25-95-95-3. That is 2595953. Federal judge has made an interesting ruling involving that ISIS bride. You remember her? So federal judge has ruled that the 25-year-old woman born in New Jersey, who later traveled to Syria and joined ISIS, is not an American citizen. Hoda Muthana had attempted to drum up sympathy and force the U.S. to facilitate travel back to the nation where she was born for her and her 2-year-old child. The U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia judge, Reggie Walton, determined that since the terrorist-tied woman was born to a Tunisian father with diplomatic status, she was not a citizen. Of course, we told you that. We went over this case before, but she tried to make the whole argument that I was born in the United States, and that's not how it works. It doesn't extend to individuals that way. Her father previously represented Yemen in the United Nations. Federal regulations and international laws state that children of foreign diplomats born in the U.S. are not subject to the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, which guarantees birthright citizenship because they are born under the jurisdiction of another country. Walton also ruled that Muthana's father could not provide financial support to his daughter and grandson, who was born in territory under ISIS control and whom he has never met, without being subject to charges of providing material support to terrorism. That's also a very interesting charge, or interesting ruling. So not only is she not a U.S. citizen, which, again, we knew, but she was still arguing that case, and there's a lot of people who wanted her to be given citizenship status so that way her kids could come to the United States and be raised here, even though she's a terrorist. She says she's put that all behind her. Probably because, all of her husbands have been killed because we keep killing ISIS people. So anyway, the other issue of this is that her dad wants to be able to financially support the child, whatever. But now the judge said, no, you can't, because we're dealing with somebody who's still in a terrorism country, and that would be material support for terrorism. Muthana had left the United States in 2014. Her child was born from her second marriage to an ISIS fighter. She left ISIS in 2018, fled to the Kurdish refugee camp. She then began doing interviews in the media calling for the U.S. to take her back. Of course, we all covered this. Let's see. I was really young and ignorant, Muthana said in an interview with The Guardian. I believe that America gives second chances, and I want to return, and I'll never come back to the Middle East. America can take my passport, and I wouldn't mind. Of course, the idea that you would bring a multi-terrorist's wife back into the United States would be absurd anyway. So she has played the victim in the media. Who is writing this article? This is Cassandra Fairbanks, who we've had on the show before. Though Muthaina has played victim in the media, she was one of the most militant ISIS recruiters on social media. She urged American Muslims to kill citizens in drive-by shootings and vehicular attacks and called to assassinate then-President Barack Obama, according to media reports. So she's not a U.S. citizen. She can't come back, and her dad is not allowed to give her kid financial support without being labeled as somebody who contributes to terrorism. So very interesting rulings coming out of the District of Columbia on that. Okay, we'll talk about impeachment next on Newstalk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Bypass backups and toll road trouble. Find out your latest travel.
I mean, itchy beard face.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news and weather.
God. I decide if I want to go to Costco today after the show or not.
Tremendous service and great people.
What do you think, Kyle? I mean, Joe?
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Sorry. The Kyle thing's on my mind.
Why do you want to go to Costco?
I don't know. That's just it. Like, I feel like I need to go. I'll probably just get meat when I go there. But,
Do you need meat?
yeah.
You probably do.
I mean, how bad is shopping on Fridays at Costco? 'Cause I know Saturdays are a pain in the ass. It is payday.
As we get to Monday, right around 38 degrees.
Which means I actually have money to go spend on meat.
And for Tuesday, finally topping out near 40 with a mix of.
I just meant in
clouds.
general, not like it's
Even
on
warmer
payday.
temps through
I
Wednesday
know
with
we all
44 for that daytime high.
I
Partly
just
cloudy
meant like
skies. and
Fridays
picking up
are
at
always the
48
ticket
for
places
Thursday.
because it's
And
payday.
the AB 67 First 40 Neighborhood Weather Center.
Yeah.
Katie.
And that's just it. I don't know if Costco gets bad on Friday evenings. Saturday is super bad. Sundays are also bad. I don't know about Fridays. I guess I'll find out.
You can plan ahead with the 5-day forecast at 16 and 46.
Maybe go get me some boxed wine. Yeah.
As always, when severe weather threatens, depend on us for expanded weather coverage until the storm passes through. On Michiana's news channel, your breaking news and weather station.
Friday has to be better than Saturday. I think any day is better than Saturday over at Costco. Friday night is worse than Saturday. Interesting. My favorite time to grocery shop is 9 p.m. Friday at Ghost Town. Yeah, but I can't do it at 9 p.m. at Costco unless I stay here and just do stuff. Can you cue my audio, please? I want to listen to this. I didn't get a chance to listen to it because my meeting today was really long.
Did they mention things?
Not those things. No, this was about noise.
Oh, the things then?
Yeah. Very productive. We actually had a productive meeting. Can you believe it? MNC had a productive meeting.
Awesome.
And that's some stuff.
You've got better things to do. Let us hook you up. Find Final Phase Electric on Facebook.
President,
Final Phase Electric.
and with that, I yield back the balance of my time.
Mr. Chairman, I have a parliamentary inquiry.
The gentleman is not recognized. I do want to comment, and I
Mr.
will
Chairman, I have a point of order under HRED 660.
the gentleman will state a point of order.
The point of order is, will the
This is not
chairman
recognizable.
continue to
Here's
prohibit
this
wishes
removal
for
of
any
the
Republican question?
Now is when we turn on the
Mr. Chairman, I have a parliamentary
Balance of my time.
Mr.
Yeah, she's making a name for herself, that's for sure. And eventually I'm going to remember her name. Stefanik. She's been ripping people to shreds.
Call 255-4600 to get your new heating system at 0% for 72 months or payments as low as $18 a week.
Don't know what Basil Hayden's is, but thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Did I hear Casey say boxed wine? Yeah, why not?
That's what sports are all about. It comes down to man versus man. Who can perform with the
Ugh.
who will let it ride?
God, what a long day.
Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern in UC.
I suppose I need to get my
Introducing the
texting up.
Capital One Walmart
So I
Rewards
will do
Card. Earn
that.
unlimited 5% back on everything you buy at Walmart online. It's the perfect card for all your family's hints this holiday season. Like 5% back on the air fryer Grant I told you about.
Casey, you familiar with the Glenn Beck Hydra investigation that he showed live on YouTube this last
Or 5%
Saturday or
back on
Sunday?
the laptop your sister
I know about it, but I haven't watched it. But I'm familiar with that he did something. I'm familiar with it being called Hydra. I just don't know
What's in your wallet?
what he actually said.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well,
Yeah, I wonder
trying to
where he
find a
got the
needle in a
Hydra
haystack,
from.
but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
Citywide, 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What's the difference between a bed from Algar Bedding and the national brand?
Yeah, what's the difference?
The label and the price. Our materials and construction are the same with the national brand, but because we're factory direct, we eliminate warehouses and middlemen. So the Algar Bedding everyday price is less than sale prices at other stores, like our 2-sided queen sleep set for just $299. Get the most bed for your money. By factory direct at Elkhart Bedding. Find out more at elkhartbedding.com.
Looking for a Christmas gift that blows away expectations? Get your friends and family season passes for Adventures Aerial Thrill Park. Available for half off at MyNodeMichiana.com. This outdoor obstacle course through the treetops is an experience no one ever forgets. Get a season pass good for every day during the 2020 season for 50% off, a savings of $100. Don't pass up this great gift idea at a great deal. Grab Edge Adventure season passes at half off right now at MyNodeMichiana.com.
Wake up with us first thing.
All right.
Mornings for your weather traffic during Michiana's morning news on
95.3 MNC, your breaking news and weather station.
Well, the debate on the live stream right now is whether or not boxed wine is better than natural ice. That's the... Yeah, I made one boxed wine joke because I might go to Costco tonight. Made one boxed wine joke, and now the Natty Ice people are coming out and going, oh, and you're going to make fun of our drink. I see how it is. So that's the debate on the live stream. Go to youtube.com/Casey the host or twitch.tv/Casey the host. Okay, so impeachment is happening, just in case you hadn't heard anything about it. Yovanovitch is the big witness today. She's, of course, the former ambassador to the Ukraine. She's the one that got caught lying to Congress and still, for some reason, hasn't been charged with anything. And she's also the one who was caught spying on, or monitoring, I should say, certain members of the media that she didn't like. So using her position to do some nefarious things there. Former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch, admitted Friday in her questioning from Republican counsel that she had been briefed about the fact that Hunter Biden was on Burisma's board, but did nothing about it. Hunter Biden, one of then Vice President Joe Biden's children, was named to the highly compensated board position in 2014 while his father was overseeing U.S.-Ukraine relations, a situation that diplomat George Kent testified Wednesday presented a clear conflict of interest, and it was something that concerned the Obama State Department. It was something that the press was curious about, too, because they asked the State Department about it, and eventually the State Department's official position was he's a private citizen, so he can do it, and we're well aware of the imagery here. Yovanovitch testified in response to questions from Stephen Castor, before the House Intelligence Committee's second public hearing on the impeachment inquiry that she had been informed about the situation in her briefing documents for her confirmation hearing and had even been coached on how to respond, but took no action when she arrived at her post. Okay, we know that. Representative Elaine Stefanik, a Republican of New York, who's making a name for herself in these hearings, by the way, later noted that while Democrats on the committee had tried to suppress questions about Burisma, the Obama administration itself had prepared her to answer them for her confirmation hearing. And so basically what, she was asking the former ambassador, she's sitting here is like, look, were you made aware of the Burisma Hunter Biden situation? Like, yes, I was. I was briefed on it. So, all right, just want to make sure that, we have this on record. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. It's not a direct quote. That she was briefed on it, was well aware. The Obama administration thought it was a problem. And Stefanik pointed out that, hey, wait a minute, isn't it interesting that the Obama administration asked these questions and now people are complaining about Republicans asking the very same question that the Obama administration asked? And she's got some very valid points there. So then you have Adam Schiff, who kept interrupting Republicans while being asked if he was going to continue to interrupt Republicans. So it's Adam Schiff, ladies and gentlemen. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know. You know what? Just here, cue up my audio, would you? Just cue up my audio. I'm going to go ahead and play something from the hearing today. Got contentious and was a bit interesting. So go ahead and have a listen to this. This happened today at the hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I have a parliamentary inquiry.
The gentleman is not recognized. I do want to comment,
Mr. Chairman, I have a point of order under HRES 660.
The gentleman will state her point of order.
The point of order is, will the chairman continue to prohibit witnesses from answering Republican questions as you've done in closed hearings and as you did this week when you interrupted our questions?
That is not a proper point of order. The gentleman will suspend.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, I have a
The gentleman is not recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I have a point of order.
The gentleman is not recognized.
I have a point of order, though.
The gentleman is not recognized. I do want to respond. I allowed the ranking member to.
I have a point of order.
The gentleman is not recognized.
Mr. Chairman, there are 4 transcripts that have not been released.
The gentleman is not recognized.
Holy
The ranking
cow.
member was allowed to exceed the opening statement, and I was happy to allow him to do so. I do want to respond to the call record. First of all, I'm grateful that the President has released the call record. I would now ask the President to release the thousands of other records that he has instructed the State Department not to release, including Ambassador Taylor's notes, including Ambassador Taylor's cable, including George Kent's memo, including documents from the Office of Management Budget about why the military aid was withheld.
Mr. Chairman, I want you to release the 4
gentleman is not
transcripts of
recognized.
depositions. That's my point of order.
The gentleman will suspend.
Chief.
We would ask the President to stop obstructing the impeachment inquiry. And while we're grateful he has released a single document, he has nonetheless obstructed witnesses in their testimony and the production of thousands and thousands of other records. And finally, I would say this, Mr. President. I hope you'll explain to the country today why it was after this call and while the Vice President was making plans to attend the inauguration that you instructed the Vice President not to attend Zelensky's inauguration.
Mr. Chairman, I have a point.
Okay, so that's Adam Schiff lying a whole bunch, and I won't get off into the minutia of any of it because most of what he just said is totally irrelevant to the case anyway. He's just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping, oh, there's this other thing that's wrong that has nothing to do with the case, has nothing to do with impeachment or the allegations against the president. So as they were pointing out, Stefanik is sitting there like, you're going to continue to interrupt us or what? And then he interrupts her. And then you like how the point where he said you're not recognized, and then she cited the provision that gave her the authority to be recognized. And then he was like, oh, crap. Okay, yeah, I recognize you. Nope, don't recognize you. Don't like what you're saying. Stop. And then Jim Jordan hopped in, and he also had a point of order that wasn't recognized, even though it should have been recognized. And while Schiff was calling for documents to be released, Jim Jordan's like, well, yeah, but that was my point of contention. I wanted you to release a bunch of documents, too. So it's just, it is a Schiff show. That's what it is. It has become a Schiff show. And this guy is doing everything he can he's actually prevented Republicans from using their time today. So Republicans had time left over, and they wanted to allow Stefanik to take the GOP's time and go ahead and use it how she wanted, and he wouldn't allow them to do that. So they set the rules, these biased new rules that aren't even appropriate for an impeachment inquiry, and they're violating their new rules as Republicans are pointing out that these rules are being violated anyway. So it is exactly what you thought it was going to be. Okay, Yovanovitch has been caught lying to Congress already. Yovanovitch already has major credibility issues. Yovanovitch has been called a liar not just by the U.S. government, but by the Ukrainian government. And she's out there going, I don't know why they had to smear my reputation. Well, look, you had the governments of two countries not like you very much, and we caught you using your position to monitor members of the press that you didn't like. So there's a whole character issue with Yovanovitch, and she could play the victim if she wants to today. But the fact of the matter is she's been caught lying to Congress already, so she's not even a credible witness. And she didn't hear any of the things that they're asking her about. So once again, you have another hearsay witness who heard from the grapevine that has never been substantiated, that something may potentially have happened that could be construed in a twisted sort of a way to possibly be some kind of a quid pro quo, even though she will not say that anything illegal happened because she doesn't know if anything illegal happened. And all of the transcripts that we have and everything else, because the president did release the transcript of that first phone call today, all shows that the allegations against the president are not true. So it is, again, it's just an absolute mess. This is a total theater. There's a report internally that the Democrats are not happy with how this is going. We'll talk about that and more coming up on Newstalk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station. MNC.
Newstalk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. And 95.3MNC.com. I'm Tom Lee in the MNC News Center, and among this afternoon's top stories, it's terrible news for mosquitoes. Health officials in Berrien County say the recent cold weather snap wiped out all of the insects associated with the eastern equine encephalitis outbreak.
Sure it did.
In Michigan in more than a decade, with 10 confirmed cases in humans, including 5.
So let me ask you a quick question, Joe.
Yeah.
How do you think authorities know that every single mosquito out there in this area was killed by a cold snap who had that virus in it? Because they're making that claim. Every single mosquito infected with encephalitis, every single one of them is dead. How could they possibly know that, huh? Unless they genetically engineered the mosquitoes with the encephalitis. Just saying. Just throwing it out there, man. Throwing it out there. There is no other explanation other than they're lying. Just throwing it out there. Phone calls keep ringing, though. You keep not answering it, man. What the hell? I'm gonna get some mosquitoes.
Michiana's news channel.
Remember not to try and burn wet leaves. Never add accelerants to a leaf fire, and don't leave those fires unattended. An additional amnesty.
We'll get that out there as soon as we can.
Ooh. No, we won't.
McKinley and Capitol lights.
Oh, lights are out everywhere though. Everywhere's been doing like a 4-way stop the past week.
Great and
Capitol.
Lights are out over there.
Mm.
It was really annoying. I was like, why aren't we moving? I have places to be.
Yep.
Along with the now in prison Paul Manafort and Charlie Black, once operated the largest campaign consulting and lobbying firms in Washington. Now facing up to 20 years in prison and is sentencing in February.
Are you telling me? I know I already knew about the ruling today, but just for your entertainment purposes, you're telling me that a guy whose jury got stacked and has been controversial this entire time, that he was convicted by the stacked jury? What? So weird. Literally, one of the jury members is the spouse of an Obama official.
For tonight, just a couple passing clouds with a low of 23. And then for Saturday, pretty similar, right around 35.
That's some cray-cray.
Partly cloudy skies. But for Sunday, skies turn mostly cloudy with a chance of a winter mix. In the ABC 7 First Morning Neighborhood Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Kennedy.
George Faber here from B-Window. Go to bwindow.com to see our huge truckload patio and entry door sale. Plus 12 months, no payments, no interest. Hi, George Faber here from B-Window. It's that time of year again when we focus on keeping our crews busy.
Murphy gets to manufacture the tinfoil hat. You have to fight with Archie McPhee about that.
Black Friday sale with savings of up to 52%. Plus manufacturer's winter discounts and no payments, no interest for 18 months. Wow,
Go to bwindow.com for all the details.
So the mosquitoes that killed Epstein then were offed by the Clintons. What if those mosquitoes did kill Epstein? Yeah, I saw that quickly saying that hearsay can be more important than direct evidence. Yeah, that was a pretty interesting statement from somebody.
Corn and wheat shop a little lower, an update in the beef market. This is the Hoosier Ag Today, Friday closing farm market report. I'm Andy Eubank, and on some optimism about
Whose bank? Eubank.
China maybe coming through. The beef market did bump up just a little, didn't hold the gains. Corn though traded lower all day long. December finished at 371 quarter down. March 380 quarters, up 4 cents. Acorn corn a quarter lower, 386. In soybeans, January 9.18.
Welcome, I think, to your.
Just a penny and a half. March beans 9.30, 3/4, a penny and a quarter better.
No, McAfee, I am not interested in your services.
Relatively quiet. December line cattle 119.10, up 2 cents. Then higher in February. Lean hogs December.
Was that?
Install it, or they won't bother.
Yeah, pre-installed trash. Gotta get it out of there.
Right click.
I will. I just haven't done it yet.
Do it right now. Like 2 seconds.
No, because it'll screw up the live stream. Somehow, some way, it'll take it down. You know it.
I saw somebody comparing the Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself to jet fuel can't melt steel beams. Like they're the same thing, even though they're not.
There's still idiots out there who think that jet fuel can't.
Can, but it can weaken the structural integrity of the building that causes it.
Yeah, I know, but they haven't figured that out yet.
No, because they're stupid.
There's this show called Forged in Fire where they.
I've watched it. I like it. I like seeing people beat things and cut things up and do things they do.
Oh boy. Careful there, Casey. That's 2 steps too close to sounding like Alex Jones, don't you? Well, there's a couple of reasons why the eggs aren't killed off and the skeeters are killed off. There's a couple of reasons. One, it's a protective sac. So, as with all protective sacs, it protects you from the elements, and of course, depending on the species of mosquito where they put it, yes, depends on, depending on the species of the mosquito, where they put their eggs could also be a factor. Just depends.
Between the size of a gift for a woman and our excitement level. Oh, we get excited if you get
God, I hate this
any gift because it's exciting to get a present.
Because of the stupid commercial.
Excitement over a big box that has
Yeah.
say, a new product.
The smaller the box, the bigger our excitement when we get it.
Practical stuff like a
It's
blender
generally
or
not how it
espresso
works,
machine, or a little box with something little tiny and sparkly in it, like diamond earrings, diamond pendant, or other great jewelry.
Yeah, Mom is starting to learn about the metals. By the way, got me an order of good metal coming. Finally, 2 steels have been out of stock for months. Finally got a nice little shipment coming in, enough to make a couple of knives. Not many. That's nice.
Introducing the Capital One Walmart Rewards.
So true story. If you use a insecticide spray and you spray a Nutheca, which is a roach egg sac, it will not penetrate the egg sac and kill the roaches. It won't do it. So you have to use a totally different process.
What you're saying is take a needle, inject it.
That would be one way of doing it, yes. You will be annoyed because the Nutheca will bounce around everywhere because it's a hard piece of crap.
Well, you could, like, use a different poison.
Use dust. The dust will actually penetrate it. But the liquid will not. Why is that, Casey? Molecule size. That's how it is. Science. Damn sciencing.
What if I just like douse it in water?
Let's see. Check Discord for a link to Black Box Wine. I totally don't drink box wine. I was just goofing around, but you know, if the Natty Ice people are gonna get all butthurt about it.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. Still here, still surviving. Barely by a thread. That's how I like it. If my employment status is being held on by a thread, we're in good nature, ladies and gentlemen. 574-2595, 95.3. That is 2595953. You can also send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. I am live streaming on YouTube and Twitch today at Casey the Host on both platforms. So make sure you go subscribe, like the videos, and, of course, follow me. All right, what else do we have here? Got to thank our sponsor, Second Amendment Arms and Range, located in New Carlisle. If you mention me, you can get 50% off your range time, which means you have more money to spend in the store and buy ammo and all that amazing stuff. Go to secondamendmentarms.net. Let's see. Casey, I know Ambassador Yovanovitch testified that she had no knowledge of Trump committing a crime. That is true. Did Taylor and Kent say the same thing? Yes, they did. Can you post those statements, please? I did. In the Daily Show Prep. You can go check that out at theburningtruth.us. Avoid Lincoln Way and McKinley. The traffic light is out, although there are traffic lights out all over Michiana in various municipalities. I don't know why that is, but it has been something that I've run into several times at the past week or so. So again, flashing lights, when those lights are out, you treat it as a four-way stop, which of course means the fastest car goes first, followed by the biggest car, followed by the loudest car. Then you get into brightly colored cars and income levels, but it's, most people don't have to worry about that. Let's see. Also have traffic lights out at Capitol and Jefferson, Capitol and McKinley, possibly more. Police are directing traffic out there. So, of course, be careful with those folks out there, because sometimes they get rubbed with vehicles, and that's not the nicest thing in the world. And they're out there directing traffic. People are not paying attention. They're looky-loo, next thing you know, their mirror hits the person trying to direct traffic. Casey, can somebody please throat punch Schiff? That wouldn't be a good idea because he doesn't have a big enough neck to survive. So I don't recommend throat punching him because I honestly feel like it would end in a murder charge. So you want to be careful with that. Casey, are you familiar with the Glenn Beck Hydra investigation that he showed live on YouTube this last Sunday? I heard that he did something about it. I have not watched it, mostly because I have bowel movements and other things that are more important. But I will look at it later. I know that some people have said that it was a good piece. I will check it out, and we will report back maybe next week, okay? Plus, you can bring it up in the open lines portion of the program if you would like, if you want to explain it to everybody. That starts at 4 o'clock. So, you're 17 minutes away. So, you can do that. What is that? Yeah, good math-ish, sort of. I'm exhausted. I've been here all day. Anyway, something else that happened today. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do this first. Okay, I want to play this audio. Cue me up again. This is Representative Chris Stewart. I will get into Donald Trump trolling the impeachment hearing and taking it over here in a few minutes because Schiff is stupid. But Representative Chris Stewart also had a very interesting statement today at the impeachment hearing. Have a listen.
Welcome, I think, to year 4 of the ongoing impeachment of President Trump. I'm sorry that you have been dragged into this. I think the sign behind me says it very well. By the whistleblower's attorney, the coup has started and impeachment will follow. But after listening for what is going on now 4 hours and 21 minutes, after all of the secret hearings, after all of the leaks, after hearing witnesses such as yourselves give your opinions, it really comes down to this. One thing it comes down to. This is the transcript that the president has released of this phone call. There is one sentence, one phone call. That is what this entire impeachment proceeding is based upon. And I got to tell you, if your impeachment case is so weak that you have to lie and exaggerate about it to convince the American people that they need to remove this president, then you've got a problem. And the American people have been lied to again and again on this. We first heard a lot about quid pro quo. And then many people realized that was meaningless. So they said, well, let's go for the fences then. Let's talk about extortion. Let's talk about bribery. Let's talk about cover-up and obstruction, for which there is zero evidence of any of that. We heard a characterization of the president's phone call that was so outrageously inaccurate, it had to be described as a parody. And none of those things matter. None of it matters. It comes down to this. We appreciate your insight. We appreciate your opinion. But all you can do is give your opinion of this one phone call. So in these corrupt nations, of which there are probably hundreds of corrupt individuals, hundreds of corrupt government officials, can you give me an example any time where the Vice President of the United States shows up and demands that a specific prosecutor be fired and gives them a 6-hour time limit to do that? Are you aware of that ever happening any other place? I guess the answer is no. And I just think it's interesting that out of hundreds of corrupt individuals, dozens of corrupt nations, that happened one time. And it happened with the individual whose son was being paid by the organization that was under investigation.
Pretty interesting. And he's right. He is absolutely right. And like I said, everything that the Democrats have accused the Republicans of doing, the Democrats themselves did. And a lot of times that's not even illegal, but they make it illegal when the Republicans do it, which is kind of what's happening right now. So that was, again, Representative Chris Stewart, is Republican from Utah. But then you had the, this is what was so amazing. All right. So President Trump's not allowed to call witnesses. Okay. Not allowed to even speak in this whole thing at all. And yet he was able to take over the hearing today. We're going to talk about that coming up on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news and weather station.
Yeah, Glenn Beck can do some good investigative work when he actually devotes time and energy to do it. So I have no doubt that he's probably done a pretty good job of the Ukrainian thing. But I'll look at the Hydra thing over the weekend, hopefully. We'll see if I remember to go ahead and do it. But all depends on the schedule. The main reason that I take digs at Beck when I mention him at any point is because it irritates the 3 people out there who really like him. And then I get emails from them, and that makes me feel special. So that's why I do it.
With a mix of sun and clouds. Our temperatures continue that warming trend through Wednesday with 44 for that daytime high, partly cloudy skies, and ending up at 48 for Thursday. In the ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Kennedy.
Beck really hasn't come around. I think Beck is pretending. I think that Beck has become one of those pretend conservatives, and my evidence for that is his empire was collapsing, and he needed to save what was left of it, so he latched on to Mark Levin and CRTV, and suddenly started being real pro-Trump and wearing a MAGA hat. And then when Representative Amash split with Republicans, Glenn Beck let his true self show there a little bit, was talking about how he's been waiting for somebody like Justin Amash. And I just, I don't know. It just comes off as pretty fake. I could be wrong. It just comes off as fake to me. That doesn't mean that he's not doing good work. His work, regardless of his motivations for the work, should be what is evaluated. But I just find myself keeping a bit of a distance with him. I'm from Las Vegas. You can't threaten me with Jehovah's Witnesses knocking on my door. That might be rare here.
You would get more Mormons in that.
You got a lot of Mormons and a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses. Like 2 Mormons a week and 1 Jehovah's Witness.
I think it's because I live so close to the church that I never see Mormons.
They don't have a significant population here.
But I see them. They're always. I see.
Yeah,
them.
they're out. They're out and about.
But on my road.
Yeah.
All the freaking
They just don't knock on the door.
They just don't come to my door.
Interesting.
Don't play all the
Interesting. Yeah, Becca's Mormon. She's an LDS.
bypass on Highway 19 in Elkhart or at International RV Wholesalers.
Like I said, that doesn't mean that he's not going to do good work, you know, and his work should be evaluated even if you don't like him. I think Alex has got a good point there. But like with the Young Turks, who didn't like that I called them an illegitimate news outlet, you have a history, and your history, whether you like it or not, has established what people think of you. So InfoWars has this problem. The Young Turks has this problem. Now Glenn Beck has this problem. And it's just one of those things where you had a history of doing some pretty weird stuff. Now with Beck, it's a little bit different because he used to be normal, and then he went weird, and now he's trying to get back to normal again. And people are trying to decide if it was a momentary lapse or if he's been kind of hiding who he really is this whole time. So we'll see. But like I said, you know, I'll look at the Hydra thing. A lot of people have sent it to me and said that it was good, so I'll take a look at it, and it will be interesting.
Every day, this is one you shouldn't ignore. How much money in your 401k or IRA is...
Oh, have you been listening, Murphy? Yeah, that's actually par for the course. I mean, it's kind of what he and the guy... that's another thing. Like, he and the guys that he employs, they're too buddy-buddy. It's okay being buddy-buddy, but then it becomes more like a chat as opposed to content that's being steered. That can be a problem.
We work with tax professionals to help make sure you aren't paying more in taxes than your fair share. It's your money.
Answer it with your birthday suit.
And you have the power to ensure your retirement accounts are paying.
I did have a fun exchange with him one time when I was a teenager. I told him I was a Druid. And that was an interesting experience over the next 15, 20 minutes or so, however long it took. I was at my friend's house. They knocked on the door. I just told them I'm a Druid.
Chances are you can remember your best decisions. Buying that
I am going to look forward to sitting down on the couch tonight.
That'll be before or after?
It's going to be after Costco. Unless I find a really good couch on the ground at Costco, I might sit over there.
Trilogy Senior Living Community, you'll feel good about
Although those heat undershirts that they have that are designed for cold weather, those are great. Those are fantastic. I bought me a 2-pack of them the last time I was there, and they work wonders. So, no, Stymie, they're not the same thing. They are different.
The U-Tile Halo Shower Kit includes a shower door, base, walls, and shower. $1,766.65 after 11% off. Sale prices are good through Saturday, November 16th. Savings are availing rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
We're your home for the Sean Hannity Show. Weeknight 6 to 9.
Having problems finding it in the show prep. Maybe that was one of the days it didn't get uploaded.
Breaking news at Weather Station.
Does my lip look okay? I mean, it feels like it's been fat all day.
Get punched?
No. I don't know what happened to it. It kind of feels like it's been fat all day. My lip. My fat lip.
It looks like normal to me, man.
Yeah. Okay. What's the sum of 41 again?
What?
What's the sum of 41 again?
The sum of 41?
What is the sum of 41?
Like,
go ahead and Google it. We're good. 574-25-95-95-3. That is 2595-953. You're 6 minutes away from open lines. Holy smokes. Somebody says, Casey, I'm having trouble finding the no knowledge of Trump committing a crime clips on your show prep. You know what? That might have happened on the day that the gremlins consumed my computer. So my apologies to you. I believe you're right. I think that what ended up, because we had one day where I had a lot of show prep in that particular post, and my computer took a nosedive in the middle of the show. Remember that? And I lost that blog post, and I was too lazy to go back and try and rebuild it. So, because doing the show prep is kind of, I have to do it as I'm doing the show. And if I don't remember what I talked about when until I go back and listen to the entire show again, which I have absolutely no time to do. So I apologize. It was probably in the show prep that got scrapped because of the computer issues earlier in the week. That's probably what ended up happening to it. So I will do my best to go ahead and post it on the Facebook page here over the next 24 to 72 hours. So that's what I will do. Okay. So I could tell you during the show, but I honestly don't think that I'm going to be able to find it during the show. And then after the show, I'm going to be busy, and I don't know what's happening this weekend. So I'll do my best. I will. Okay. All right, 574-25-95-95-3. As you all know, one of the big complaints that Republicans and the president have had about this so-called impeachment inquiry is that they're not allowed to call their own witnesses. And did you finally get it? Did you finally get it?
I Googled sum of 41, and it kept pulling up educational math stuff.
Uh-huh.
So, and then I finally found the Wikipedia article of sum 41.
I thought for sure you were playing along with the fat lip bit.
No.
Okay. That's all right. Sorry.
I'm stupid, Casey.
No, it's a Friday, and I probably wasn't being clear enough. My sarcasm is so advanced.
I didn't get it because I didn't know it, but now I get it.
Okay.
I'm just stupid.
Okay, Boomer. Whatever you say.
Okay, Boomer. Okay.
So the president and Republicans have complained that they haven't been able to call witnesses. They aren't able to defend themselves, obviously. So what the president did while Ambassador Yovanovitch was talking today is he tweeted out that she was I think he said something like she was a liar or something. I don't have the tweet in front of me, but so he tweeted out. And do you know what Adam Schiff did? This is how foolish Adam Schiff is. Adam Schiff stops the impeachment inquiry. He stops the hearing, and he reads the tweet. He tells Ambassador Yovanovitch that the president is now attacking you on Twitter and saying this and this. Would you like to respond? So what ended up happening? President Trump got in the hearing and got to say his piece. And they stopped everything to focus on what he was saying. The guy is just an expert level troller. Trump trolled. It's going to be like the new Rick rolled, I think. Trump trolled. It's going to be the replacement. We got to figure out some kind of a song for it, though. The problem is there's going to be somebody out there who doesn't have any musical talent who makes that song, and then we're all going to have to listen to it. Like me, yes, potentially. So anyway, now what we have is we have a bunch of dinguses, including Eric, I'm going to nuke you, Swalwell. He's the president of California. So Eric Swalwell goes out there and says, the president tweeting about the former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch, quote, should be considered as a new article of impeachment. Really? Saying mean things about somebody on Twitter is an article of impeachment now? That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the president's response to this was perfect. He's like, look, I have the right to free speech just like every one of you. He's like, just because I'm the president, it doesn't go away. I have a right to... If I think you're a hot mess, I get to say you're a hot mess, period, end of story. So... I mean, it's so laughable that they are now literally going on CNN and they're talking with CNN news anchors and saying the president saying mean things about a former ambassador who said mean things about him should be considered an article of impeachment. That's going back what the representative of Utah said. If you've got to lie about this and start making things up, you've got a real problem. And that's true. They do. They have a real problem. Now, there is a report, according to Tucker Carlson, he reported yesterday that the establishment Democrats are very concerned that Americans are not buying the impeachment. Yeah, I told you that after day one. When your star witnesses come out and say that they have no information about a crime, and they say that, yes, Burisma Holdings is corrupt, and that we should be investigating them, and yes, the Ukrainian government has a long and pervasive history of corruption. And yes, the relationship with Burisma and Hunter Biden has been a major concern going back to 2014. Yeah, you tend to shoot a bunch of holes in your argument, don't you? So apparently the Democrats, according to a CNN report this afternoon, top Democrats secretly admit to one another that this is not working. They're not going to get Trump through impeachment hearings. No, they are not. More coming up next.
WTRC-FM and HD1, Niles, South Bend, Elkhart.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your top stories right now.
Whew, had to hit it 3 times before it made a move. So I promise.
Brady.
Damn.
I think it's considered a joke all over Washington and all over the world. The Republicans are given no due process whatsoever.
President Trump reacting to the second open impeachment hearing and defending a tweet he sent during the hearing, criticizing the witness, former ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch.
Third witness who has no first-hand knowledge of the subject that is supposed to be the focus of this entire inquiry. Third witness who never talked to the president. Third witness who...
So how do you want to do that?
Do what?
Call screening.
I mean, we can just do the normal Discord thing if you want. Just act like we're remote.
Can do.
I mean, there's a question as to why the kind of campaign to get me out of Ukraine helped. Because all the president has to do is say he wants a different ambassador.
Yovanovitch says in her line of work, all you have is your reputation. This has been very painful. Some fireworks at the end of the hearing after a speech from House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff.
There is no camouflaging that corrupt intent. We are adjourned.
Mr. Speaker, I'll take your occasion.
2 weeks. This is
Mr. Chairman, you disparage those members on this side of the aisle. We should have a chance to respond to your disparaging remarks.
That's Texas Congressman Mike Conaway. Meanwhile, on Wall Street, a Fox News alert. The closing bell, the Dow hits 28K for the first time, up 222 points to 28,004.
I can't believe they're actually covering the record stock market as breaking news. They've been doing it all afternoon.
Color me surprised?
Yeah, it's usually they don't make a big deal about record stock markets. They only do it when it sinks.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's News Channel, and 95.3MNC.com. I'm Tommy Lee, the MNC News Center, and among this afternoon's
All right, so hour 2.
20-year-old Jared Gorby has been given 9 years in prison for the single count of child molestation.
I'm gonna go grab a warm up. I'll be right back, folks. Wow, did it snow? There's snow outside.
Yeah, a while ago.
She was asked to do made her upset, and she wasn't okay with them. What exactly the video showed the beloved Disney characters doing is unclear. Gorby will have to register as a sex offender and spend 4 additional years on probation.
95.3 MNC's Darren Wright reporting. Last week, a car blew past a stop arm on a Fulton County school bus on the same road where a similar incident took the lives of 3 children. Wednesday morning, the mother of a student who knew one of the victims last year heard the bus run. She told her NBC that she saw the car passing to the other side of the stopped bus. Video from the Fulton prosecutor's office shows other vehicles passing school buses with the stop arm out. Officials remind motorists that cameras on Fulton County buses are capable of recording their license plate and getting a good look at your face. And MNC Consumer Alert, Ford is recalling more than 168,000 F-150 pickup trucks.
The recall covers certain
Michiana's News Channel, would you like to talk to Casey?
2020. The automaker says the trucks have an electrical problem that could cause engine stalling or even a fire. Ford says the positive battery terminal fastener may not be properly secured, which can cause instrument panel display.
Sure thing, Ted. I'll try to get you on that.
Systems like power braking and steering assist. No crashes, fires, and injuries have been reported, and owners will be notified later this month.
95.3 MNC's Brooklyn Baby reporting. You can find more information about the recall with the story at 95.3MNC.com.
When they're sponsored by
The Prime Table Kids. We have the best kids movies.
Ted is on my thing. And yes, Ted.
I figured as much. I figured. Doobie doobie doo. Alright. I gotta log in. Discord.
Oh, I think it's this Muxie.
Breaking news can happen anytime. Stay connected with 95.3 MNC text alerts. Get quick details on how to get them at 95.3MNC.com. Your breaking news and weather station. At first it was just an annoyance, but then it started affecting my daily life. My radio was stopping me.
We now show YouTube streaming as your status and streamer mode.
With a simple outpatient procedure
on Discord.
Thanks to St. Joe, I've turned time sitting out into time cherishing the people I love.
Is that happening now?
Call 1-833-300-WELL.
Weaver Heating and Cooling is your local American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning dealer. Here's owner Jeffrey Ness on the importance of scheduling your furnace.
Doesn't appear to be.
Certain things in there that if you don't keep an eye on it can cause a lot of damage, and you just spend a lot of money for your furnace. If you don't maintain it, it's not going to break down when it's going. It's going to break down when it's going.
Get Weaver Heating and Cooling and call
Yeah.
574-259-9941. Your trust. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning dealer.
The holiday season is here, and it's time for our best offer of the year during the Ford Black Friday event. Now, for a limited time, get 20% estimated savings on select 2019 Ford models.
I feel like I'm sending in smoke signals from the next state over chatting through Twitch. Yeah, there aren't that many people on Twitch right now, but it's growing, so that's good. Keep your ears to the ground on December 10th, because that's the day they're going to start purging people off of YouTube.
Is that when you take effect?
That's when all the new stuff takes effect. So if you're not commercially viable, they can kick you off of the platform.
Michiana's news channel. Would you like to talk to Casey?
So yeah.
All right. Can I get your first name, please? All right, Josh. I'll try to get you on there.
All right, here we go.
From the first step to the final phase, industrial and commercial electrical done right.
This is Casey Hendrickson on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel, your breaking news and weather station.
Yovanovitch is claiming that she was the victim of a smear campaign by Rudy Giuliani. So what? Okay? Even if it's true, totally irrelevant to the case. Remember, she's there to testify that the president committed some kind of a crime by requiring a quid pro quo from the Ukrainians only to pursue a totally innocent man who has no allegations of any guilty affiliations or any criminal activity. That would be Hunter Biden, who happens to be the son of Joe Biden. And therefore, this is all about politics. So all of this fluff, everything that you heard Schiff say earlier, again, there's a reason I glossed over it and said it's irrelevant, because it is. It's not a factor in the case. It's not material to the case. It has nothing to do with it whatsoever. None of it's criminal anyway. So if Rudy Giuliani did go around and badmouth Yovanovitch, well, we ended up discovering a whole bunch of things about her. One, she lied. Okay, she lied in her last congressional testimony. We caught her red-handed. We talked about that. And she was like, surveilling's not the right word, but she was keeping tabs on certain members of the press that she felt were unfriendly. So she was doing all sorts of weird, odd things while she was ambassador to the Ukraine anyway. 574-2595, 95.3. That is 2595-953. Let's not forget that the Ukrainians weren't exactly thrilled with her either. Do you want to thank our sponsor, Second Amendment Arms and Range, located in New Carlisle. If you mention me, you can get half off your range time. Go to secondamendmentarms.net. Ted, welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
I'm sorry for disturbing you.
Yes.
But I like you because you understand me. They said that all the classical authors, all these writers, should be thrown out because they're white. So we agree with this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fine. But I know you know that Pushkin, the greatest Russian poet, he was from Ethiopia. Now, Alexander Dumas, he was black from North Africa. He wrote The Miserable.
Okay.
Then we have St. Augustine, our Christian writer. He was black from North Africa. We have to throw all these things out.
Well, you can probably keep those. It's just everything else you got to get rid of because it's racist, according to these crazy people.
So why they don't mention it? But if you go to look at a Christian church from North Africa, we have lots of church fathers from there, all of them are black. So we have to throw all the Christianity out because they are black.
That would be the theory. But again, I get what you're saying. You know, the problem is that they're unreasonable and they're running around making things up. You know, if they were honest about history and saying the things like you're saying and giving you the actual history of slavery in this country and where it came from and all of that, you know, the narrative goes away. And then all of a sudden they can't raise money. They can't raise a stink. It doesn't become as big of a political issue as it was before. So they have to rearrange things and lie about it. That's the nature of the business that we have with social justice warriors now.
Yeah, thank you, sir. You're right. I like you a lot because I know about all these authors, and they do not know.
No, that's true. Yeah.
What is making me mad, sir? How stupid they are when they talk over that. I'm sorry.
All right, you take care. All right, appreciate it.
Good luck,
all
sir.
right, thank you. 574-25-95-95-3. Josh, welcome to the program. Good afternoon. It's open lines, by the way.
Hey, Casey, how are you?
I'm well. What's up?
Okay, so I got two questions for you.
Okay.
First, do you think the whistleblower actually exists? I mean, shit keeps going back and forth whether they actually talk to him or not. They're not subpoenaing him. He's not coming forward. No name release. Do you think he actually exists?
Do I think he exists? Yeah, I think the whistleblower does exist. I think it is Charamella. I think we have multiple witnesses who, again, are speaking on condition of anonymity to the press who say that this is the guy. You have to understand something. When the New Times out and said the whistleblower from this date to that date, and they worked in this department, and they were also tied to the CIA, you gave everybody out there who has any motivation to go search for who the whistleblower was to begin with a very narrow timeline of who could possibly be the whistleblower. That's why they zeroed in on this guy so quickly. The New York Times basically outed him without saying who he was. So then several other people confirmed his identity, according to Real Clear Investigates. And then now you've got multiple members of Congress who are saying the name, including Rand Paul. So, yeah, I think it's Charamella. And I also think that he might very well be Charlie in the Peter Strzok, Lisa Page text messages, which, if that case, we have a full-blown conspiracy here. We also just learned that Charamella hosted an event that had a bunch of the Ukraine players at it. So why are you hosting an event as somebody who has some ties with Ukraine with your intelligence work? Why are you hosting an event with a bunch of people that are involved with this Ukrainian conspiracy thing? It's a private party that the president's not a party to. None of it makes any sense. I think he's real. I just think that they don't want him to come forward because Adam Schiff is going to be in big trouble if this guy testifies and is found out that he did, in fact, inappropriately meet with Schiff and his people.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I think he's real. I mean, I'm not going to fault anybody out there for thinking that maybe this is just Adam Schiff pretending to be somebody, but okay. Yeah, I think he's real.
Okay. And then my second question: Why does it always seem like when the left is starting to lose their case, there's a mass shooting?
Man, people keep bringing this up. I have no clue. I have no clue. I suppose the anti-gunner mentality would be, well, that's because there's always a shooting. The pro-gun crowd, who's maybe not conspiratorial, would probably say it's a pure coincidence. But then you have a lot of people go, you know what? Every time something big that's happening that impacts the Democrats negatively, there's a shooting. And the reality is that does keep happening. Do I think there's a conspiracy? No, I'm not there. But it's enough of a coincidence that people are talking about it.
Okay.
All right.
I was just curious in here, but
yeah, I'm not there, but I understand why people are looking at the timelines and going, "That's a little interesting." So, all right, man. I appreciate the call, though. Thank you much.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
574-25-95-95-3. That is 2595-953. We have Scott. Welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to say, I'll be quick here. I wanted to say, number one, thank you for what you guys do. There's 4 of you in the station. I love it.
I listen to it every day.
Thank you.
I just hope that what you do can reach more people with the blinders on, because there's so many people out there that aren't paying attention here. Then number two, we have to have term limits. This is why we got to get rid of these people that are doing this. The Democratic Party is going to destroy our country. That's number one. Number two, Pelosi. She's so worried about impeachment and worried about who's going to run in the next election. She's not doing anything for the American public or me, the middleman. Come on. Well, I'm paying her wage. I'm paying their wage. For what? For absolutely nothing. You know, the closed door thing. Now, if Republicans or anybody else did that, come on. That's absolutely ridiculous. You know, they're liars. This has got to stop. I just hope that you guys, Kill Me, Rush, all you guys can make people wake up, which I doubt it. You know, but it's just ridiculous.
Well,
They've wasted so much time.
It's frustrating. I get it. It's totally frustrating. Hey, I gotta run. I got to break, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right.
You take care. It is. It's very frustrating. And yes, politicians are liars. Term limits, I think, help with that. And we talked about term limits actually at Noise. You know, I used to be one of those people that said elections were your term limit, but I'm not one of those people anymore. As I've been involved in politics more, I understand more how the money works and how the process works and how the various committees and leadership in the party will withhold money from politicians in their own party that they don't like. This is, it's a big problem. And term limits, I think, fix that problem. And like I've said before, I'm at the point now where I'm happy to take somewhat of a middle road with it. You serve maybe 3 terms, okay? And then you have to take at least 1 term off, and somebody else has to come in. And then the people can decide if they want to go back to you for another 3 terms or if they want to elect that person to another 2. That seems to be a fair thing, because then you're giving other people an opportunity to step in there. You're giving people, you're taking away the professional aspect of it. I think we need to get rid of this stupid lifelong pension crap. I'm sick and tired of that. Although they did reform that recently, and the reforms are much better than the system used to be, and I'm appreciative of that, but we still have to get rid of it because, again, it incentivizes people to become a long-term professional politician because then they get that money. They basically get to retire rich on the taxpayer's dime, even if they don't actually reach retirement age. So all they have to do is serve a certain number of years, and then they get their pension, and that's not fair to anybody, really, and it's a waste of money. Most people, when you lose your job, you go back into the workforce, and you have to make your income somewhere else. So there's a lot of reforms that have to happen, and I think you're going to find more and more Americans agree with that. The problem is that, generally speaking, in between elections, the people who say that only mean it about the other side. They don't mean it about their side. We've got more coming up, including open lines here on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news and weather station.
It's a checks and balances issue.
I think so.
Because,
yeah,
if the president was still not under term, he could still run as many times as he wanted, it wouldn't be that big of a deal as it is.
Right.
But the fact that after Truman?
Oh, thank you, dude.
Truman?
Appreciate it.
Who was president 6 times?
FDR.
That's who. And that's why we implemented that.
Correct.
We're not doing that for Congress.
Right. And again, he became so powerful because he kept running for re-election, and then social programs that Congress said,
it's a checks and balances issue, people. That's what it is.
There's a natural sway towards that letter I. Anytime you have that incumbency, there's just a natural. That's why these people
I like the way
Chuck
it is
Schumer.
now.
That's why Chuck Schumer has been in office for 40 years.
Sure.
Or whatever.
Sure.
E-cig, by the way.
Okay. E-cig. Yeah, I mean, there's, what more is there to say?
There's not a lot to say about it. It's just, that's it.
The Senate wasn't supposed to be a popular vote thing. The people aren't supposed to even vote for senators. The whole system got thrown out of whack with that. And, it was designed that the House of Representatives, you could elect your local representative, your neighbor, as much as you wanted, and the Senate would be flipped over because the state would inevitably change sides, and the state would pick who the senators were. So that goes to the governor.
And if you look at the way that it originally used to happen, there used to be two people running for positions, and the winner became the president, and the second place became the vice president.
Right.
And it's like,
yeah.
And it helps get balance.
Hey, watch your phone. Things, I guess, are not. There's not a nail in the coffin for what we were dealing with for Rain Drain.
Okay.
So expect a phone call or text from me after your show.
Okay.
Because I had a little conversation and we're coming up with something.
Okay. All right. Give me a jingle.
But I'm keeping keeping them. They understand this is the deadline. Like right now.
Yeah, it's today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like.
Okay. All right, man. Thank you. Yep, I'm with you, Murphy. I'm with you.
Scott, by the way, the guy who just finished talking to you has called him 4 times and asked you
About that?
Yeah, he's like, he never knows who's on. He's like, is it Hendrickson right now or is it Rush?
Oh, so okay, I got you. Is that why he said the 4 of you? Was that what that was about? I thought that was a little strange. Okay, so I have Jim and then Brenda. All right. I'm sorry, folks. I got something stabbing me in the eyeball, my left eye, and I can't get it.
And that is old Brenda, original call.
Okay. Hi, Tracy. How are you? Tracy stopped by to say hi. She stopped by on the YouTubers. Left old Murphy by himself over on Twitch. Although I'm on Twitch. You're technically not alone. And Blue is there as well. Or Blue was there. I don't know if Blue is still there.
Perfect card for all your family's kids this holiday season. Like 5% back on the air fryer Grandpa told you about.
Would you... I'm going to throw this out to you, too. Would you be interested in buying a Texas Roadhouse gift card where you get free money on the card? So like the robotics team is like selling them. So like I don't know the exact terms. You pay 20 for like 25 or whatever. Are you interested in that or no?
Sure.
Well, I'm gonna probably have them come by and I'm gonna take 1 or 2 of them from them next week. So if you want one, I'll tell them. Okay. I don't know the terms. His mom sent it to me yesterday, but I don't have it.
I'll take one.
Okay. All right. Oh God, my wife is sending me messages.
Oh really?
Oh! I have a Costco shopping list. She must have heard. Thanks, Mom. You narked me out. If you're going to Costco after work, can you check to see how much their boxes of Premier Protein are and what flavors they have? And also these, the Wisps Parmesan Cheese Crisps. Yes, sweetheart.
Yes.
Oh, she got mad at me for calling my motorcycle babe in that post on my anniversary of my motorcycle. I was like, oh my God. So you call me babe. Jeez.
E-cig?
E-cig!
Forget. I don't know how many reasons you have.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. It is open lines. We'll head back to the phone lines here in just a minute. Please be patient. I got to tell you about allnaturalcbd.org. This is the all-natural CBD lotion that I endorse. And today, just had a coworker pick up a bottle from me. Okay, had a couple of bottles left over from Noise, and they picked it up. They wanted to try it. And what's that?
Because you had like 5 left over from Noise.
There wasn't that many. Yeah, all of the unscented went. I think that went in like 20 minutes. He said
it went pretty.
The unscented went quick.
After we had like 6 or 7 left at the end of Noise. And we sold them in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, they went real quick. So I am considering that was a fluke thing. So they could not do. They had another event. They couldn't do a booth. Because I told them, like, you need to be here. Like, people are jumping all over to get this stuff, and you need to be there. They couldn't. So what they did is they gave me some bottles to sell at my booth because I was going to have a booth there. So we did that, and they have offered me wholesale before, so that way I could sell it. So I don't know. I might actually just do that and start selling it on my website too in the near future. We'll see. Okay, we'll see. But in the meantime, go to allnaturalcbd.org. That's where you can pick up the CBD lotion. And again, it is a lotion. It's not an oil. Okay, so this will moisturize your skin, and it won't be all oily or anything like that. It is full spectrum CBD, which is what you want. You don't want the isolate. It is, again, made right here in the United States of America. There's no THC. It comes in a 4-ounce, 120 milliliter bottle. So this is a nice size bottle. It's like a lotion bottle, all right? A lot of these CBD products will charge you $60 for a 1-ounce bottle that has like 200 milligrams of isolate CBD. This is 250 or 500 milligrams of full spectrum CBD with a 4-ounce bottle, and the 500 milligrams are only $19.99. And then you get my discount on top of that, which is coupon code KC10 at allnaturalcbd.org, so you get to save 10%. If you, I had a listener ask me today, where can I get it locally? I heard you say that I could. Any local e-cig works is selling the all-natural CBD lotion, okay? So if you go to any local e-cig works, you can still use my coupon code KC10 to get 10% off. Once again, the website is allnaturalcbd.org. Okay, to the phone lines we go. Getting my call screener up. My apologies. We have, what's the air quote call screener because we still got gremlins. Jim, welcome to the program.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. What's up?
Well, between you and I watched bits and pieces of the Inquirer yesterday and little bits and pieces today, but unlike the Democrats, I have a life.
Yeah.
But I can't see how they can keep going forward with this. Will they really come back next week?
Yeah, I think the Democrats are going to do everything they can with this. But I also think that CNN and Tucker Carlson, they have this report that Democratic leadership, they're really worried about this. And like I said, you can be a tribalist if you want. And this is what I was trying to explain on Monday. Forget about the people that are squarely against Trump and are squarely for him. Okay? Throw those people out. There's a bunch of people in the middle of the country who've not paid attention to this. They've heard rumors. They're sitting down. They're watching the impeachment hearing. They're trying to figure out if the president did anything wrong. And the first two witnesses, the star witnesses, both say, I don't have any information that he broke any law. And, oh, by the way, Burisma Holdings is corrupt. This guy's a problem. They should be investigated. We knew about this going back to 2014. And it destroyed the entire case. And so that's what I was saying on Monday. It's like nobody got convinced. And even CNN and MSNBC said nobody got convinced on day one that all of a sudden we should be impeaching the president.
All I see is just a waste of time. And if any of the taxpayer money is tied up in this, it's a big waste of tax money.
Yeah.
They need to just stop this, go back to the House, and get this other stuff done that needs to get done.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And by the way, there is rumor that the Democrats are really close to passing the trade bill in the House.
Well, that we really need.
Yeah, and like I said, that has bipartisan support. And I know that there's some people in the audience who don't like some provisions of it. No trade deal's perfect, but it's way better than NAFTA was.
Well, if they get that done a little bit, it might sway China to come back to the table and deal a little bit harder.
Yeah, a little bit. And there's been a lot of progress with China here lately. Phase 1 is going pretty good. But yeah, it's been interesting to watch this. But I think the Democratic leadership, I think they're looking at this and going, we're going to need something to campaign on because this is going down in flames and we might need to pass the USMCA in order to go ahead and campaign on it because this is going down in flames. And they know that. There isn't anything that, you've had 3 witnesses. All 3 witnesses didn't hear the alleged crime. They weren't witnesses to the alleged crime.
Today, why was she even there?
I don't know.
She had nothing to do with anything.
Yovanovitch has no bearing on any of this whatsoever, and she damaged their case too.
Because she was fired.
Correct. Yeah, her testimony about Rudy. That's why I said, so what, with the Rudy Giuliani thing. Rudy Giuliani smeared me. So what? What does it have to do with the case? That's just has nothing to do with the case. Nothing to do with it whatsoever. You're right about that. All right, I got to roll, but I appreciate the call.
All right, thank you.
And this is what I was trying to break down for people. All right, forget the fluff. Remember, You've got a giant pot of spaghetti, okay? No sauce yet, just a giant pot of spaghetti, and the chef has put their hand in it. They pulled out a whole handful of spaghetti. They've chucked it at the wall, and they're trying to see what sticks. None of the stuff that you heard Schiff complain about in that audio I played earlier was relevant to this case. None of it. And that's why the representative from Utah said, we have to understand something. This comes from one line in one phone call. Everything else is irrelevant. It's one line in one phone call. That's why we're having the entire impeachment hearing, okay? And the whole premise of it was quid pro quo. That didn't work. Right before this hearing, they shifted from quid pro quo to a totally different allegation. And now they're saying it's obstruction of justice. There is no obstruction of justice. It hasn't occurred. There's been no crime that has been shown to have happened. Nothing. Forget all of the fluff about Yovanovitch and her career and all of these other things. At the end of the day, there was a phone call between the president of the United States and the president of Ukraine where he is being accused of saying, I don't want to run against this guy politically. Could you please dig something up and falsely accuse him of a crime so that way I can win my election? That's what they're accusing President Trump of doing. None of that happened. Period. End of story. All of the people who were on the phone call, not just our president, but all of the members of the executive branch of government and the intelligence community who were on that phone call, they all said that didn't happen. All of the individuals on the Ukrainian side of the phone said that didn't happen. Then you have the actual timeline. There was no aid withheld pending any investigation. Oh, and Ukraine had already offered to reopen the investigation months before this happened. So none of the timelines even line up. And if you just get away from all of the extra fluff and the Yovanovitch testimony and all of this other stuff, you get away from that. At the end of the day, this is about that one phone call and one line in the phone call where they made an accusation that the president demanded a quid pro quo in order to go ahead and take out a political enemy, which didn't happen in the call. That's why it's so critical. And when you had the representative from Utah stand up there and say, look, if you have to lie and fabricate the accusation against the president, your case is pretty weak. I'm paraphrasing it. But the reason that he said that was, if it was really bad, why would Adam Schiff need to stand up there and lie to everybody about what was on that phone call when he lied about the transcript? If it was that bad, why would he have to fabricate the words in that call? If it was that bad, he'd just read the real transcript and it would be horrifying to everybody. But that's not what he had to do because obviously that's not what happened. And at the end of the day, we have more information and more evidence that Adam Schiff and the whistleblower broke the law than we do the president. And we still have these very serious allegations against Hunter Biden, now Joe Biden. I want to remind everybody, you have a member of the Ukrainian parliament says that they paid Joe Biden, not Hunter, Joe Biden $900,000 in lobbying fees, which would be illegal. He was the vice president at the time. So, it's not like these are basement dwellers saying these things. These are members of government. If they're not telling the truth, they're not telling the truth, but you have to investigate these allegations because they're coming from officials for a foreign government. You got more coming up on Newstalk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station.
Oh, man. Ugh. My ears are hurting.
What?
Because I got my on-ear, not soft, over-ear headphones.
They're not big enough. They're crushing your ear.
Yeah, they're crushing the ear.
That's my mom's problem. She has this really nice pair of Bluetooth, but they're really small.
Yeah,
And
I
so
hate that.
I'm like, you need bigger headphones. That's your problem.
Yep. I doth not like it.
And with this week's cold weather, many will begin to see higher heating and electric bills.
Indiana State
Where are your
Representative
smoking?
Jim Pressel says
They're at home. I've been using them for nighttime viewing.
That's fair.
My other headphones that I was using, the left channel went out on them.
Saw the Mandalorian episode.
You saw it? It was good, right?
Yeah.
It was very good.
Well produced. I like how it's. I like where it's set in the timeline. I'm very interested to see where they go with that.
Yeah. All the jacked up stormtroopers and look like they've been through hell.
Yeah. Even though like they have, it's very cool to see how like it's not clear how far past the fall.
All they've said is that it's past the fall, but
yeah,
it's got to be close enough to where the imperial credits are still accepted somewhat, but not universally.
Like they still spend. I'm like, okay, so that's interesting.
Right.
Is that because they're made out of a precious metal, or because it's still still?
It looks like it's just currency. So Murphy says there's an article on Spectator that has a really good article on Yovanovitch. I'll take a look at that.
I'm also really excited about Mandalore.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of the Star Wars stuff I'm looking forward to. That's right. Murphy on Twitch says you're not allowed to investigate crimes committed by Democrats. Somebody made up a crime by a Republican. You can flush the Constitution in a heartbeat. It's true. And look, that's the thing for everybody to remember with this is that, and that's why I appreciated what the representative from Utah said. This all comes from one line and one phone call. Forget everything else. This is the accusation. All of the stuff with Yovanovitch today is relevant to the case. All of it. All of that stuff with Schiff saying that President released this and released that. None of that has anything to do with the allegations against him. So there's no sense in even entertaining it. Honestly, it should be glossed over. I know that we have to cover it and we'll pick it apart occasionally, but at the end of the day, this all comes down to an accusation of quid pro quo, which is not materialized at this point.
Did Stadia drop today? Like, did it? It hasn't been out. I haven't noticed. Did it?
Twitter suspended several people for saying that? Interesting. So, something interesting happened on Twitter today. I tried to log in as myself, still couldn't log in. And then miraculously was able to log in, and then I just deactivated my account. So, I don't have the Casey the Host Twitter anymore. It's officially gone. I'm not participating.
I didn't realize you were so close to Stadia releasing. That would be fun to see how that drops or anything. If it goes really well, it could revolutionize gaming.
Forgotten Weapons had a great chat about the pistol that they based the Mandalorian's prop on. I might have to check that out. Because there's going to be an STL file for it in the next week or two. So, if there's not already. I mean, I'm assuming that people are taking their time to model it. But
well, we had because I'm assuming that
that's true. He did have a trailer. Yeah, he had a trailer. Let me look.
Even if it's a crude one, I'm sure
it'll be crude. Yeah, it'll be crude.
After new episode dropped today, didn't it?
So should be Friday. Yeah.
We will see.
Helmet's already up.
Well,
which is easy.
Well, yeah, because it's not super complicated. It's just smooth with the simple Mandalore T in the front. I mean, it's not like it's super hard to do, I feel like.
Okay, so apparently they are basing the Mandalorian's pistol blaster on. Apparently, it's a KR-18, which is a standard weapon in the universe. So they already have the files for it.
So then they just
files are already up. Yeah.
Easy to do.
So they knew what it was. They've got his full armor set.
Gotta love nerds, man.
Somebody has already modeled the spiked trooper helmets.
Like the
ones that were on the spike in the beginning of the show. So I'll be printing that. All of the armor pieces, the helmet obviously, which is on there. So
is his rifle?
Yeah, his rifle's on there. Mm-hmm.
Interesting design on that.
The guard, baton, and shield are on there. Oh, that's a great still shot of the pistol. Yeah. So.
They got a really good shot of it.
Yeah. People have already made their own coins.
Oh, because we've actually never seen. I feel like I don't think we've ever seen Imperial. We've seen
This is like a challenge coin, but I assume the Imperial credits are on here somewhere.
Yeah, because those are new. I don't think we've seen Imperial credits. I think we've seen.
That's a cool looking model with the helmets, though.
This Galactic credits or whatever, just normal standard credits.
Yeah.
In the original, in not the original, in the prequels.
One of my
offers credits.
One of my favorite prints is the Stormtrooper with the. This is all torn out. It's his skull. He's dead. It's one of my favorite prints, and I love the way that came out. I have Maverick on my desk up there.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know,
And my internet is officially saying, F you! We don't want to work.
I'm sure his ship's also probably not a file.
Oh, I'm sure.
That didn't look like it.
No, that'd be pretty easy. Plus, there's a whole universe of ships that are already established.
So it's easy to just be like, oh, so it's this model, probably built around this time.
Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's. So thank you.
So
if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor.
Somebody's asking if I have any comments on Kellyanne Conway and Blitzer.
Plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com.
I didn't see the exchange. Apparently, Kellyanne Conway blew up at Blitzer over her marriage.
Right.
So I didn't see it.
This is Casey Hendrickson.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I'm your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595, 95.3. That is 2595-953. It is open lines. Remember, we do open lines in the 4 o'clock hour now. All right. I want to thank our sponsors, Second Amendment Arms and Range. If you want to shoot better than a stormtrooper, we're talking about the Mandalorian during the news break there. If you want to shoot better than a stormtrooper, go to Second Amendment Arms and Range and practice so that way you can hit your target. Although I am convinced it was all planned. So there's that. Have you seen that conspiracy theory? The reason that the stormtroopers don't hit anybody in the first 3 films is because it was all a strategic sort of a trap for them. Like they let them escape. They funneled them in somewhere. And then, because, they escape. Next thing you know, planets are blown. It's a whole thing. So it's a pretty interesting theory. I don't know if it's true or not, but I choose to believe that the Empire is smarter than people give it credit for. It does. It makes me feel better about the good guys. So anyway, if you go to secondamendmentarms.net, of course, you can get more information about them. Mention me, get half off your range time. All right. Back to the phone lines we go. Brenda, welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Yes, thank you for taking my call. I watched most of that farce today, and the way the manure was flowing around, a person needed waiters to get through all of it. I could not believe how they were stroking her ego. Saying all those nice things to her and everything. I believe that she did say bad things about President Trump. I believe that she did not like the new president of the Ukraine. And that whole thing today, I'm so angry, I just can't hardly see straight. And then when the Republicans came out and gave their little thing, answered questions and stuff, after they broke and walked away, if you notice the looks on the reporters, disgusted, sneers, and what is wrong with our media? What is wrong with Fox News? We had the stock market today, the highest it's ever been in the history of the stock market. And things are really going pretty good. But yet the media is absolutely sneering, and they want to take out Trump as badly as the Democrats do. And
well, we all, here's the thing, because again, they were stroking her ego today, and she did finally admit she doesn't know the president committing any crime. people have to keep in mind, she still works for the federal government.
She doesn't do her job.
And she ordered reporters who were looking into the Biden's Ukraine ties. She ordered people to monitor them. Okay? So
why didn't that come up today?
Right.
All they said was that she didn't send a list for them to stop investigating and stuff.
Well, there's, like I said, there's a whole host of the fact that you've got both sides saying that she was running around and bad-mouthing people. Maybe she didn't think that she was really bad-mouthing them, but she was. Because you got the president of the Ukraine saying that she doesn't like me. We've got multiple people in the Ukrainian government saying that she was an outspoken critic of Zelensky.
Yeah.
And so, you look at that. You look at, obviously, you have to believe that she wasn't very happy about Donald Trump, given her history. It would make sense that she would be speaking out. Now, again, speaking out doesn't necessarily mean that you should lose your job. But if you keep doing it and you've lost the confidence of both people that you have to deal with on a regular basis in those governments, they're going to recall you. And, her contention today is, well, they didn't have to smear me. Well, you were smearing other people. Right. And you were also monitoring people. And now, whether or not that is an ethical violation or a legal violation, doesn't appear she broke any law. It's just she's using her position to monitor certain members of the media who are exploring the connection to Ukraine with the Bidens. And you assume that she was doing it from a political perspective because she is in that camp that was pro Russia hacked the server and everything else. So there's some real ethical issues with her.
Yeah, 2 points. If she was smearing the new president, then in her job, she should not be doing things like that.
Correct.
If she has a problem with it, she takes it to him. She's the ambassador to the Ukraine. She can talk to him and tell him. And if the president is upset with her, he can ask the American government to recall her. And my other point, when Trump made his little tweet and they all erupted and got so upset and said that he was using it to intimidate her and all this stuff, that was not intimidation. That was pure anger. Any other person would have responded much harsher, a lot worse than what President Trump did.
Well, and when the president said, look, everywhere she's had a post, it's kind of gone to hell in a handbasket. And her defense is, I've made things better.
Well, she didn't.
You take a look at her history, and the president seems to have had her on that. Hey, I got to run. I'm late. I'm late for break.
Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it, Casey.
I appreciate it. I know you're patient, and I know more people are patient. We're doing open lines. We'll continue open lines into the 5 o'clock hour. I know that we're not quite there yet. I'm just letting you know ahead of time since the phones have been popping today. I want to remind everybody before we get out of here, though, that Yovanovitch has been accused of making State Department requests to monitor numerous members of the media. Okay? We're not talking about her like having an RSS feed aggregator where she's reading what people are saying. She asked the State Department, allegedly, to monitor certain members of the media that were critical of the Bidens and Ukraine's relationship. Now, maybe that's not illegal, okay? We have to get more information about it. But, that certainly does seem to violate the spirit of working for your boss. Now, if you are employed and you are working for a company and you don't like your boss and you're bad-mouthing your boss and it gets back to your boss because you're bad-mouthing them publicly, they're going to call you into the office. And you're going to, be at risk of losing your job there. And she was doing that. And as a result, she lost the confidence of the Ukrainian government. She lost the confidence of the American government. She lost her job. It's really that simple. And trying to play the victim again at this hearing today, which was totally irrelevant to the hearing. That's the thing that everybody has to remember. We've got more open lines coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Wondering about the weekend? It's always in sight. The 5-day forecast at 16 and 46 mornings and afternoons on 95.3 FNC. Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news and weather station.
Weather served up by the Prime Table Restaurant in Niles. Does your family or group meet regularly for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Just call the Prime Table to reserve tables for your next gathering.
Them, your home comfort experts, heating specialist 5-day forecast.
The slow warm-up continues as we go through the weekend. Clouds will break a bit on Saturday with the highs in the mid-30s, becoming partly cloudy. And then Saturday night, clouds start to build on in. We'll start with a low of 24. Sunday, mostly cloudy.
No, that's pretty well the only way that we'd be able to help you.
By Sunday evening, and that will continue into early Monday. Monday, that slow warm-up also continues. We'll see highs in the upper 30s. Still cloudy. The same goes for Tuesday. Little change, but
No problem.
start to see sunshine by Wednesday.
And Murphy on Twitch has the point that the allegation that Yovanovitch was telling Ukrainian officials to ignore the president. That's an allegation. And of course, if that was the case, then certainly that would justify her not fulfilling the duties of her post, without a doubt. So.
And help them acquire skills to better their lives. It's our belief that each woman is talented and gifted and deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. With a staff of just 8 and crew of 150 volunteers.
Casey, are you trolling us with a Bill O'Reilly speech pattern?
Join us for 2 special days on the radio as we tell the story of St. Margaret's House. Hope that you donate. With the success we've had helping so many of our guests to take positive steps forward, we at St. Margaret's House are grateful to be embraced by the whole community.
This is Casey Hendrickson, your host for the St. Margaret's House Radiothon, set for November 21st and 22nd, and proudly sponsored by Judy's Boutique, Impress Jewelry Creations, and Kramer Customer.
On News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news and weather station.
Come on.
Hi, this is Dwayne Miller with Good Faith Management, and I buy houses cash.
Like my chat window just goes white periodically. I can't like see anything.
5678. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and in any location. I am not a realtor or associated with any realty company. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy even more. Call me at 570.
Yeah, I heard the cheers too.
5678. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant will pay me the rent house.
As you go through the checkout, there will be a coupon code section. It's a little weird, but it'll be there. Just don't click the final purchase button without putting it in. I think it's off to the right.
Yeah.
So it's there. I promise. It's there.
5678 for
Can I confirm? Did it myself.
Yep, Joe did it too. He bought it for his mama.
Well,
packages
she gave me her card to use.
Right.
Basically, I went to the store. I did.
But it's good stuff, man. It works. She's still having good results with it? Good deal. I got 6 people watching on Twitch right now, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. Like I said, we're going to probably have to migrate to Twitch on December 10th or right after it shortly. Casey's chat window flexing its white privilege. There you go. What's up, Happy? How you doing?
Registration, transportation charge, and dealer parking options, line availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Only valid on 2018 or 2019 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans excluding cash chassis. Qualified commercial customers only. Financing offer valid through January.
Yeah, it's afraid it's there, man. I promise it's there.
Visit mbvans.com.
First time I did it too, I was like, where the hell is the coupon code thing? So I just kept going.
It's a little difficult to navigate, but once you're like, oh, there it is. It's like, oh, yeah, okay.
Carrier to get up to $1,650 in carrier factory rebates on qualifying equipment. Plus, get a $79 cleaning check. Contact dealer for complete details. Visit 4windsheatingandair.com today. 4 Winds Heating and Air Comfort. You can't compare.
What's up, Lumberjacks? How you doing? How are you? I'm hoping to play with the green screen this weekend. I still have my new pop-up green screen from a month and a half ago for my birthday. Haven't been able to. I don't have any holsters to make this weekend. I got a couple of knives to do some stuff on, but that's not difficult, so should be good.
Michiana Family Insurance.
Michiana Family Insurance.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I'm your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595-95.3. That is 2595953. If you are an outspoken critic of the Clintons, you may need life insurance from Michiana Family Insurance. Protect you and yours, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to get disappeared by the Clinton body count. So go to MichianaFamilyInsurance.com. They do all sorts of insurance, auto insurance, home insurance, life insurance, but they also do commercial insurance, which is not the easiest thing in the world to obtain, by the way. I can tell you that firsthand. So if you are looking to save some money or to make sure that the policy that you have in place is the appropriate one for you, maybe you're sick and tired of dealing with, web forms and people in other countries or robots when you make your phone calls and try to get answers from your insurance company, Michiana Family Insurance is probably the answer for you. They're located locally, so they know what issues affect us here in our hometowns. And when you call them, you're going to speak to somebody real, okay? In this time zone, too, by the way. Go to MichianaFamilyInsurance.com, or you can give them a call and set up an appointment at 574-231-1500. That's 231-1500. When you contact Michiana Family Insurance, this is muy importante. Make sure you tell them that you got their information from me. It helps me out tremendously. Thank you very much. All right, back to the phone lines we go. Who do we have on hold now? We have Donald. Welcome to the program.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, thanks for having me on. Casey.
Sure. What's on your mind?
I believe that the reason this has gone on for so long, from the very beginning of Donald Trump's presidency, that there's only anyone with common sense would know that it's just a total distraction from the real high crimes and misdemeanors created by the Democratic Party to protect Hillary Clinton and her regime.
Well, you have somebody who committed crimes. We've got individuals in various capacities of the executive branch of government who have been caught covering those up. And you have somebody who was never supposed to get power, getting power, and now in charge of the mechanisms that would investigate those things. And, when you, like I said, everything that they've accused him of doing, they themselves have done. And some of that's not even illegal, by the way. Some of it is, but some of it's not even illegal. So they had to throw these out there. Remember when the Russia collusion hoax got started? It got started because we found out that Hillary Clinton's campaign was being given information that hurt Donald Trump by the government of Ukraine under the Poroshenko regime. And that was starting to make the rounds, and people were starting to look at it. There's nothing illegal about it, by the way. She's allowed to get that information. The only question was there a pay-for-play?
But is she allowed to delete 30,000
No,
emails?
She's not. That's a federal crime. You cannot do that. You can't do 100%. I agree with you. But remember that all started because people were starting to ask questions about the Ukraine connection with her. And then she's like, well, he's got Russian connections, even though her own campaign had Russian connections. And the media said, oh, thank you for the marching orders. We appreciate it. And then they peddled the conspiracy for all this time. And, like you said, this is a criminal investigation now for the FISA thing. And Durham is, it looks like people are going to be facing the law. I don't expect anybody to go to jail or prison over it, but there might be some plea deals and things like that happen as a result. The IG report will hopefully be out around Thanksgiving. We'll see. But I agree with you. In large part, I believe that a lot of this is a cover-up to protect people in certain positions in the government that were responsible for the coup attempt. I agree with you on that. I think the evidence is pretty strong that has been happening, at least in some capacity.
Right.
All right, I got to roll. I'm on a hard break here for the news. You got 20 seconds to wrap it up.
Well, I just want to say that Democrats will reap what they sow, with their own basket of deplorables.
Well, and there you go. I appreciate it, man. Thank you much. As the president's made a point and Republicans have made a point, you don't want to go down this road because now you're telling everybody that we can do this to you when you're in power. And I'm not hoping for that to happen, but the Democrats won't have a place to get upset about it. We've got more coming up. 95.3 MNC.
CFM and HD1. Niles, South Bend.
Whew, man.
Your top stories right now. This is a Fox News alert. The second open impeachment hearing is over on Lisa Brady. Former ambassador to Ukraine, Maria
You have Probako and Impress in this hour.
Probako and Impress.
leaving others in the State Department uncertain whether their efforts to pursue our stated policy are going to
Excuse me. I get the hiccups and the burps and the everythings and just one of them days.
Republicans like Congressman John Radcliffe noting that part of the confirmation hearing prep in the Obama administration was information on Hunter Biden's work with the Ukrainian company.
Out of thousands of companies in the Ukraine, the only one that you recall the Obama-Biden State Department preparing to answer questions about was the one where the vice president's son was on the board. Is that fair?
Yes. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff adjourning the hearing today by accusing the president of corrupting.
Rub CBD oil on it.
Fine. As an obstacle that had to go. Not just
Waiting for one of these callers to sneak in. Epstein didn't kill himself. Me too. Me too. There's a couple of times I thought it was going to happen.
He says the president praises a corrupt former prosecutor, condemns Yovanovitch, and then asks for an investigation.
All right, I'm going to go use the restroom. I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. So hang out and enjoy yourself. I haven't played the commercial for you guys in a long time. Maybe I'll try that. How about that? Here we go. Never mind. It didn't work.
During the hearing, criticizing Yovanovitch and leading to a new allegation from Democrats of witness intimidation. White House says the president is entitled to express his opinion. Meantime, new records on Wall Street. The Dow topping 28K. America is listening. Fox News.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel, and 95.3MNC.com.
I'm Tommy Lee in the MNC News Center, and among our top stories this Friday afternoon from the MNC follow-up file, police arrested the people they believe were behind the fires that were set at the Walmart in Niles.
It was back on October 31st as police responded to the Walmart on South 11th Street on reports that someone had set a fire in the clothing department. Even more concerning, it wasn't the first time it had happened. Police checked the tape and found two people they thought may have been responsible, and sure enough, Wednesday, they arrested Paula Christie and Stephen Tagan of South Bend. They're both facing some sort of arson charge and retail fraud. Tagan has also been charged with larceny. No word yet on what their motivation may have been to start the fires.
That's 95.3 MNC's Darren Wright. We've all been there before. Somebody at the grocery store is a couple cents short, so you do the nice thing and offer to help out. What likely hasn't happened to you is that person then trying to stab you because of your generous offer.
But police say that's exactly what happened at the dollar store on West Western November 11th. Witnesses say that Albert Bradley was checking out at the store when he realized he was a couple cents short. A man and his girlfriend in the line behind him offered to give him the extra money. This apparently angered Bradley because he started yelling racial epithets at the couple, tried to punch the man, and then pulled out a knife and tried to stab him. Bradley was arrested for attempted battery by means of a deadly weapon. There's no indication that the intended victim was injured.
95.3 MNC's Carl Stutz.
It's warm and cozy in here.
It is. It is nice, warm, and cozy in this studio of ours.
Studio.
Irish and Navy for F-18 Hornets. Fusion station in California will streak over the crowd during the national anthem.
I do remember The Simpsons did it. Investors has an... Oh, interesting. I will look at that too. So I've got to go to Spectator and Investors Business Journal. Donald did sound a little bit like Jeff, but it wasn't Jeff. I know Jeff's voice. It's okay. It's good.
Yeah. I have just a list of features and already say it. Everything going good, you guys?
So far, so good.
Screener's still down though.
Yeah, screener is still down, but
Was it up yesterday or nope?
No, he's working on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He thought he had it fixed yesterday, but
And I tried to open it and I I'm hoping that it's still down.
Okay.
So I assume he's aware. He did text me back saying that okay. So
Okay.
He's aware.
Yep, he'll take care of it.
We are
We've got to work around.
compensating. Alrighty. Okay. Like this shirt.
Oh, thank you. My daughter bought it for me last year. For Christmas.
Yeah.
Is it just? Are you just using Brooklyn in the morning right now?
Live news next week, by the way.
No. Still recorded? Still recording. Yeah. And then there's the radio.
And then there's the radio.
Okay.
I know.
He's off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to bring some of the shoe polish and put it in the corners of my eyes so I stay awake.
Yeah.
Tobacco.
Bring some for me too.
Tobacco or whatever it was. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, totally bring some for me too.
I was like, I don't go to bed till 3. I gotta be here, 4:30.
It's gonna be good though.
Yeah. No, it will be. It will be.
Got a lot of matching money.
That is. I think financially they have come in better prepared this time than they have.
I think as of the radiothon, maybe one of
what?
I think as of the radiothon would be one of the cases in my first shift.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's right. I think he's right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you know what? Well, last year we had it a week earlier than we're having it this week. Or this year because yeah.
Sweet, Casey. Look at that.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
50 weeks with you and I haven't killed myself.
See?
Discount may
Good
vary.
job.
Dealer determines price. For all
Good
offers,
joke.
take
I know. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Right.
for complete details. Final phase of
Half an hour, folks.
This is Casey Hendrickson on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel, your breaking news and weather station.
Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I'm your host, Casey Hendrickson. Do want to thank our sponsor, Second Amendment Arms and Range, located in New Carlisle. If you mention me, get 50% off your range time. You also are able to save some money in the store. You get 10% off in the store. Now, it is the 15th of November, which means there is a certain holiday that is coming up. I would say what it is, but Joy Behar says it's racist. So, we have a certain holiday coming up. It's really not a holiday, but it kind of is a holiday. You know what I mean, right? You do get days off for it. You're going to want to look for something amazing to give as a gift. Okay, so maybe you've got a shooter in the family, and they are looking for some ammo, some accessories, new firearm. Maybe they just want a place to go shoot when it's cold outside. And then you can go ahead and go to Second Amendment Arms and Range. You can get them a gift account over there, so they don't have to worry about losing a gift certificate or a gift card. And then you have the whole baby, it's cold outside, go shoot inside at Second Amendment Arms and Range. Go to secondamendmentarms.net for more information about that. On the live stream, which we are broadcasting on YouTube and Twitch, for the record, just want everybody to know, while Twitch is growing, and I appreciate that, YouTube is still obviously the primary platform that people watch the show on. After December 10th, I don't know how that's going to go. That's when all of the new terms of service go into effect at YouTube, and YouTube has said that they reserve the right to remove any channel that they view as not commercially viable. And since they've already demonetized my entire channel, I assume that I fit that criteria. So I don't know what's going to happen. We are expecting a great purge on YouTube to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen with me. So here's what we got to do. Last minute, stick it to them. Go to youtube.com/Casey the host. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button on all the videos. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get notified of any uploads, okay? And then also go to twitch.tv/Casey the host and follow me there, subscribe there, because that'll be the backup plan, okay? So we stream to both services for a reason, because when YouTube takes my videos down, they're still on Twitch. So when I get people who go, hey, the live stream from yesterday is not there anymore, what's going on? And I get to refer you to Twitch, because Twitch still has it, because Twitch leaves me alone. So Alex on the live stream said, I think that most of the middle of the country, most people in the middle are able to see what this show trial is. I'm paraphrasing for them, what this show trial is. And I think you're right. which is why on Monday I was kind of making that point that the people, forget the partisans, okay? The people in the middle who are looking at it, who just watched the 2 star witnesses for impeachment get destroyed and admit that there's no actual crime. So it becomes one of those things that it just, I think that most people are going to see this for what it is. And I think your hyper partisans are going to look at this and they're going to, they're going to take whatever side they were already going to take, because that's what hyper partisans do. Britt Hume did tweet out today that Yovanovitch did precious little to advance the impeachment narrative. And then he said, but Donald Trump didn't really do himself any favors with this tweet. And then he linked to the tweet about President Trump tweeting about Yovanovitch. But I like Britt Hume. I think Britt Hume is a straight shooter. I also think that Britt Hume is an old man who doesn't understand trolling. And the president seized the narrative with that tweet because Adam Schiff interrupted the entire hearing to read the tweet and have Yovanovitch talk about the tweet. And now what's happened? The Democrats are running around trying to say that the president's saying mean things about somebody's job performance. We're going to go ahead and become impeachable offenses, which of course they're not. So it really is interesting to watch this all play out. I got a text message earlier that said, Casey, do you have any comments or reaction to Kellyanne Conway going after Wolf Blitzer? Now, I didn't see this, okay? So I just pulled up the article. I knew that something happened between them, but I didn't have context for it. I was in meetings this afternoon. I missed it, so I apologize. This happened technically yesterday, but I didn't get an opportunity to look at my show prep until later than usual today. So White House senior advisor Kellyanne Conway lashed out at It's Not News at CNN's Wolf Blitzer on Thursday, telling the anchor that he embarrassed himself by asking about her husband's recent appearance on MSNBC and implying that the couple has marital issues. I think you embarrassed yourself, she said. I'm embarrassed for you because this is CNN now. I looked up to you when I was in college and law school. I would turn on CNN to see what Wolf Blitzer had to say about war, famine, disruption abroad. I really respected you for all those years as somebody who would give us the news. Now, the news is what somebody's husband says on a different network. Okay, first of all, good for her. Her husband is an outspoken critic of President Trump. And the only reason this is a story is because he's the husband of Kellyanne Conway. That's the only reason that this is a story. This guy is not famous for anything. Nobody knows who he is. I can't even mention his name right now. I don't even know it. George. Okay. I had to look it up. He looks like he doesn't even belong with her. It's just very, very strange. But he has been staunchly anti-Trump going back to the primary, for crying out loud. This is not anything new. He just usually reserved his criticisms on Twitter. Now he's on MSNBC. So MSNBC is bringing on a nobody to go ahead and talk about their wife's employer. Okay. Now, look, the guy has a right to do that. Okay, fine. However, most of our spouses don't want to jeopardize our jobs, right? Most of our spouses don't want to do that. There are some outspoken, athlete wives that will criticize the coach and things like that and try and defend their husband or whatever. But this is the exact opposite of that. This is, I don't like my wife's employer, and so I'm going to do everything I can to go ahead and dump on that relationship. We don't know what their marital life is like, okay? I assume that it has been very tenuous and probably non-existent as a marriage in all of the typical applications thereof, but I don't know. I'm just assuming, because again, typically people who are close together and are madly in love don't try to sabotage their spouse's relationship, right? You don't do it publicly. So I assume that they're probably on the splits, but it's also really none of my business. And Wolf Blitzer having Kellyanne Conway on and talking about them having marital problems is probably not the most important thing in the world. Now, if he wants to have her on and then bring up, look, I can't let you out of here. Your husband is on another network ripping your boss. What's your reaction to that? That's an appropriate question to ask, I think. But to sit there and go, wow, your marriage must be on the fritz if he's doing that. There's a way to phrase it that's professional. There's a way to phrase it that's not. The explosive segment was the result of George Conway, who often mocks President Trump on Twitter, making a rare TV appearance during MSNBC coverage of the impeachment hearing. Blitzer began the exchange by awkwardly saying that he had a sensitive question for the White House advisor. It's a political question. It's a substantive question. And I don't want to talk about your marriage because I know that there are issues there. And Blitzer said before Conway interrupted, what did you just say? Now, why? You don't know that there's issues in their marriage. You don't know that. I mean, you might suspect that's the case, but you don't know that. Wolf Blitzer's not in their house. He's not. So you imagine, I know that there's issues there. Now, what he should have immediately done is said, you know what? I didn't mean to say it that way, and I apologize. But he didn't, because he's a white old man, and she is a woman. And he has the patriarchy at his back. That's what the left would say. But they're not making that argument right now defending Kellyanne Conway. Joe, is it weird that the feminists are not defending Kellyanne Conway for the man making disparaging remarks about her intimate life? I think that's a little strange, don't you? Interesting. Huh. So anyway, he goes on and she says, what did you just say? Did you just say there are issues there? You don't want to talk about, why did you say that? She asked. I don't want to talk about your marriage. I want to talk about a substantive point that your husband, George Conway, made. He was on television all day yesterday during the first day of the impeachment hearings. It's like, what? You remember when I told you that I thought Shepard Smith checked out a couple of years ago? And I was shocked that he signed an extension with Fox News. Of course, now he's gone. Wolf Blitzer has had the same sort of feeling for many years. Like, you get to a point where you've just been doing it for so long, you've checked out and you're not interested in the normal, typical decorum or anything else. That's Wolf Blitzer at this point. We've got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
I feel like I'm fading. That's fair. You have Chewbacca on this break.
You're damn right I do.
Yeah, I just... Oh, yeah, we're good.
Okay. Mindless XP followed on the Twitch. Thank you much. Appreciate that. It is a good username. Okay, Alex, I have to ask this question. So on Discord, you posted a clip of me talking about the Survivor Me Too situation. Okay, I just realized, just now, after seeing this earlier this afternoon, that that's actually the character, or the guy on the island. I swear to God, I thought that was a parody of Joe Donnelly's head on some other guy's body. I swear to God. The thumbnail on the video looks like that's Joe Donnelly on some older, somewhat muscular dude's body. I didn't realize that was actually the guy. Oh, man. Oh, Andy just chimed in at 4:15 about an hour ago. He's sitting in front of 3 deer. Ooh, he's hunting this weekend, he told me.
Oh, yeah, I saw a couple of my friends.
Yup. Casey, the feminist won't support a non-liberal woman in any circumstances. True. Fact check confirmed. Dennis Miller calls Wolf Blitzer Meerkat Prancer. That's funny. That is really funny. Finding images is the funnest part. That's good. Glad you enjoy it. I appreciate the help more than you know.
Instead of adding your yeast, you basically put it out in the open, and whatever yeast was in the air was what ended up fermenting your beer. So based on what region you were in...
Casey, MSNBC hiring George is like Burisma hiring Hunter. Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Made a great tasting 7% Belgian pale ale that incorporates that great banana and clove flavor, but also some of those the fruity kind of...
Casey, my mom just called me and told me this was bad for Trump, that Schiff clearly said he has no idea who the whistleblower is, and media isn't a cult. Help me. I don't know how you help somebody that delusional. I'm sure your mom is a sweet lady, but everybody knows that Adam Schiff knows who the whistleblower is. Otherwise, you are expected to believe a couple of different things. That his staff met with the whistleblower, which we know happened, okay, and that his staff didn't tell him who the whistleblower is. And that doesn't seem logical. And we know that he hired two people who worked with the whistleblower, and that those people haven't said anything to him either. And I don't know what office environment your mom has been in, but that ain't how gossip works. Yeah. I'm sorry. Have fun at Thanksgiving.
HIMSS makes it extra affordable. And right now, get your first online visit totally free when you go to 4hims.com/joy. That beats paying for an in-office doctor's appointment, doesn't it? Plus, you won't need to deal with awkward face-to-face conversations to get your prescription.
Oh, see, Alex, what I do with the vaping thing is I find the animated GIFs over at Pixabay, and they got some really good vaping ones over there. And I usually put somebody blowing huge plumes of vape on those posts. I enjoy those. I can't do the animated one obviously on YouTube, but I can do it on my blog post.
4hims.com/joy.
Those ones are great.
4hims.com/joy.
Casey Epstein didn't kill himself. Thank you. I appreciate it. Fine. That's somebody. Somebody. Okay, well, and so this was a point, Stymie, to go along with your line of thinking here, how does Schiff protect somebody if he has no idea who to protect? When Schiff threatened Republicans for outing the whistleblower, Republicans retorted, if you don't know who the whistleblower is, then how can you threaten us with ethics violations because you don't know that we've outed them? Exactamundo. Tobacco.
Where is this caller's mom's mind? Well, not caller, texter. We'll talk about that here in a second. But first, I got to tell you about Bruno's Per Bacco on County Road 16 in Elkhart. Man, I love this place. So I was looking for a restaurant that I, 1, would enjoy, 2, was near my house, and 3, I could take my family. Obviously, I've endorsed a lot of restaurants in my day, but I didn't have one near the house, and I didn't have one that I did on a regular basis where I had regular appearances there that I could take my family, and I really wanted that. It was something that I was looking forward to, and Bruno's Per Bacco was the place. It's a phenomenal, if you just want to go get a drink, it's a phenomenal little bar, and they have an amazing couple of bartenders over there. Well-designed, comfortable, warm atmosphere that you can also go ahead and enjoy homemade, big plate Italian food. And who doesn't love Italian food, honestly? And when you get big plate Italian food from some of the best in the community at Bruno's Per Bacco, you're going to leave satisfied. You are going to feel like you got your money's worth. And the food is just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I don't know why they continue to make desserts the massive size that they do, but I am super stoked that they do it every time I get it, every single time. So I didn't get dessert when I was there this last week with my family. We went there on Tuesday, the first time as a whole family. And my mom, who's visiting, decided that she wanted the lemon cake. And so they brought this massive piece of lemon cake out for her. It is still portions of it. Obviously, she's been nibbling at it the whole week. Portions of it are still in the kitchen as we speak. She has still not gotten through it. So you get great food. They don't joke around when they say big plate family style food. It's amazing. They're very friendly. Just an awesome place for you to go hang out with your family or by yourself or maybe a business meeting or what have you. It's even a good place for a date night. In fact, when we were there on Tuesday, there was a young couple clearly on a date. And for the record, guy, whoever you were, it looked like she was totally digging it, by the way. So good on you. She looked very happy. She was giving him the eyeballs and all that stuff. So it looked like it went well. Go to brunosperbacco.com When you go into Perbaco, please make sure you tell them that you're there because of me. It helps me out when you do that. The sponsors need to know that their advertising dollars are working for them. Go to brunosperbaco.com. They can make reservations right there on the website. They do catering. It's a phenomenal place. Let them know that you're there because of me, please. All right. 574-25-95-95-3. That is 2595-953. Speaking of Where Is My Mind, which is the bumper music that was playing when we came back. Casey, my mom just called me and told me this was bad for Trump, that Schiff clearly said that he has no idea who the whistleblower is, and the media isn't a cult. Help me. Well, one, good luck on Thanksgiving. I mean, I wish you all the best. Your poor mother, I'm sure she's very sweet. Here's the thing. How can Schiff protect, I'm going to use the words of somebody on the live stream. How can Schiff protect the whistleblower if Schiff doesn't know who the whistleblower is? Republicans retorted when Adam Schiff said that he was going to hit them with an ethics violation if they named the whistleblower, which, by the way, is dubious that he can even do that, if they named the whistleblower. And Republicans responded with, how can you hit us with an ethics violation if we name the whistleblower if you don't know who the whistleblower is? Because you don't know that we're actually naming the whistleblower. Because, again, you don't know who the whistleblower is. Now, if you believe that Adam Schiff is telling the truth about not knowing the whistleblower, I have oceanfront property in Arizona, and I would like to sell it for you at a dramatic markup. This guy, to believe that he doesn't know who they are, you have to believe that his staff who met with the whistleblower, and that happened, it's not in dispute that I'm aware of, didn't tell him who the whistleblower was. So we know that Schiff's staff met with the whistleblower, but that they didn't tell him who the whistleblower was. Many people believe that he met with the whistleblower directly, by the way. So I don't believe that. Why would the staff meet with the whistleblower and not tell Schiff who they are? Also, two people who worked with Ciaramella, the whistleblower, two people who worked with him left their post and went to work with Adam Schiff. They didn't say who the whistleblower was. Again, I don't buy any of it. Oh, said whistleblower was at a dinner with the Vice President Joe Biden, with all of the heads of the federal intelligence agencies, with the Prime Minister of Italy, and an Adam Schiff. So expect me to believe that Adam Schiff doesn't know who he is. I'm sorry, that's not logical. So I don't know why your mom, again, I'm sure she's a sweet lady. I don't know why your mom believes that Adam Schiff, a known, caught, red-handed, numerous times liar, would be telling the truth now. But I can tell you there's a great reason why he would lie. If that is her question, why would he lie about that? And the great reason why he would lie is he done broke the law when he made contact with the whistleblower and then helped the whistleblower organize this entire effort to fill out the form. That's a breach of protocol. You can't do that. And then when he and the whistleblower lied about having contact with one another, they both committed legal infractions. Why do you think he doesn't want the whistleblower to testify? The whistleblower's life is not in jeopardy. Okay? There's no notion that the whistleblower's life is in jeopardy, that the president is going to kill them. Okay? That's not a thing. So the only other reason would be that they don't want him to be cross-examined, which is why the whistleblower offered to answer questions in writing, but not to show up in person. And when those questions are submitted in writing, of course, you can choose which ones you answer and which ones you don't. So there's a whole approval process, but absolutely ludicrous that she would believe that Adam Schiff is telling the truth. And like I said, there's nothing. I mean, if you look at even on Monday, so MSNBC, CNN, both of them even said this did nothing for impeachment. There's no crime. There's no crime. Now, you can say that perhaps some of the stuff that happened in the hearings make Donald Trump seem like he's a big meanie. Okay, fine. Donald Trump seems like a big meanie. So what? Nothing illegal about that. If you don't like it, vote him out. But it's not worth impeachment. There's no impeachable offense there. They haven't said anything that is an impeachable offense yet at the impeachment hearing. So we've had multiple days here. We've had 3 witnesses who have been the star witnesses who did not hear anything illegal actually happen. They didn't have any firsthand knowledge of anything that did happen. And it's all hearsay. So there's nothing there, folks. There just isn't. But watching people collectively try and make excuses because of tribalism, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Donovan, welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's up?
Were you looking for ideas for parody songs for the impeachment thing?
I mean, sure, as long as it doesn't get me in trouble.
Oh no, I was you've heard of REO Speedwagon, right?
Sure.
Okay, Take It on the Run.
Okay.
And one of the parts says, "Heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from another." Even
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we could use that, I suppose. I mean, YouTube's already censoring me, so
yeah,
they'll hit me with a copyright license. But hey, it'll be fun when we do it.
Right.
That's a good tip, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Take care. Have a good weekend. Okay, 574-2595, 95.3. That is 2595953. Got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station.
I am starting to fade. Just a little bit. Oh, that Impress read. Have a good weekend, Murphy. Impress with Impress! Oh. Impress with Impress. Impress with Impress.
For now, the mosquitoes are no longer a going concern. And with this week's cold weather, many will begin to see higher heating and electric bills.
What? With colder weather, you get higher heating and electric bills?
Mm-hmm.
It's a shocking report. Right? Never heard of it. Oh, dude. Why does getting tired hit you so damn quick? Honestly, can't it just ease in? Does it always have to be go to sleep? Hey, a leaf burning amnesty is underway. Burn the wet, icy leaves, ladies and gentlemen. Don't add accelerants to a leaf fire. You just try and burn those wet, icy leaves by themselves without any accelerant. You just do that. Good luck.
Offers 2 homemade soups prepared fresh every day. Soup included with every sandwich, lunch, and dinner special.
Now, your home comfort experts, heating specialists, first warning forecast.
Cloudy this evening, temperatures will fall from 30 into the mid to upper 20s. There may be a little freezing mist or drizzle along with some.
Casey just ordered a pizza from Bruno's per Baca. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hopefully you heard about it on my show in the comments.
Former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine Marie Yovanovitch testifying today in the House impeachment inquiry of President Trump, saying she's the victim of the disinformation campaign. She also says she understands she served Ukraine at the pleasure of the president.
What I do wonder is why it was necessary to smear my reputation.
Because you suck. That's why.
Ukraine tried to interfere in the 2016 presidential election, as President Trump has claimed. Guilty on all counts. A jury today convicting Roger Stone, longtime advisor to President Trump, on 7 federal felony charges stemming from the Mueller investigation of Russian election meddling.
He could be sent to prison for 20 years, having been found guilty now of obstructing justice, lying to Congress, and threatening a witness.
Fox's Evan Brown. Sentencing will be in February of next year. America is listening to Fox News. News powered by Temper Grill. Make plans this week to experience the unmatched style of Temper Grill. Seating is limited. Call or visit TemperGranger.com today. We say food with attitude. Style Thomas food in Michiana. Surrounded by a craft beer, fine wine, champagne, and dessert list that is as unique and seasonal as our menu. At Temper Grill, Chef Sean works with the finest.
Benjamin's got a good idea. Use a flamethrower. You don't have the accelerant added to the leaves then.
and is smooth while always satisfying your taste buds. Visit Tuesday nights for half-price wine bottles. Wednesday for $2 beer night. Visit Thursdays.
Vaseline balls work too.
Or upgrade your evenings Tuesdays through Saturdays with the atmosphere of Temper Grill. With a perfect backdrop for any occasion. Reservations required. 21 and up. Explore our menu, buy gift cards, or make a simple dinner reservation at tempergrillshoot.com. Unplug and relax with a truly unforgettable dining experience. Because life is too short and the food is too good to break bread in a bad mood. Temper Grill. Food with attitude.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
On Wall Street, the major averages closing in the green and hitting new record highs, with the Dow making history today and surging above the 28,000 mark for the first time. Stocks rallying on trade optimism and the president's...
Whoa, there's a lot of new prime loot.
Is there?
Oh, I got Blood Oath Car 98K for PUBG Mobile. League of Legends stuff. Twitch Sings Snowman outfit. Is that like TikTok?
No, it's a streaming thing where you do karaoke and you have an avatar that like.
That sounds awful.
It is.
PS4 Contra Rogue Core Gentleman and Hungry Beast skins. Fortress M, 300 Dragon Tank shards, and more. More mobile League of Legends stuff. RuneScape. King of Fighters. Oh, is the King of Fighters still doing a thing? 10 times battle card tickets. Nice. Free properties in Grand Theft Auto Online. Bounty Hunter license in Red Dead Online. Oh, for Frontier Pursuits. Wolfenstein Youngblood bundle. Ooh. Hey now. I do like my Wolfenstein. I still haven't finished the damn game. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege exclusive Jackal Operator set. Ooh, Rocket League. It's got exclusive wheels, engine audio, and decals.
Make your engine fun.
Right.
That's a lot.
Yes. Introducing Luke Gifting. Darksiders 2. And Alpha. Sword Legacy. Turmoil. Turmoil's a free game, I guess.
If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 574-294-5678 for a cash offer today. 574-294-5678. Through the Next Level Roads plan.
Oi. No, I don't want all of my email notifications on. Shame on you.
For the next 20 years to keep our economy moving and make your drive safer and smoother. Do your part to keep everyone safe. Slow down in work zones. Put down your cell phone and pay attention. Download the InDOT mobile app to learn about road projects and traffic conditions. Available in the App Store and on Google Play. And visit nextlevelroads.com.
Thank you, Blue. Appreciate it. That young couple was my wife and I. Oh. How about that? It was our first time there, and we had a great experience there. Listen to you all the time. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Thank you very much. It did. It looked like the date went well. She looked very happy. Very cool. That's funny. What are the odds?
This is Casey Hendrickson.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. No joke, I just got a message on YouTube that the young couple that was at Perbaco was a listener and his wife. They said they had a wonderful time. That was their first experience at Bruno's Perbaco. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. What are the odds? Honestly, what are the odds? In the meantime, if you are looking for that perfect gift for that special someone for the holidays, this is the opportunity for you to start making your game plan, right? We all have the normal gifts and we got, the somewhat better gifts and everything else. But we all have that one person that you want to shop really good for, right? We want to get that one real special thing. For instance, this year for me, it's going to be shopping for myself. For the rest of you, it might be your spouse. It could be your fiance, your significant other, what have you. Maybe it could be a kid. Who knows? So celebrate the season at Impress Jewelry Creations. You can save through the end of the year almost the entire in-store collection, 25, 35, and even up to 40% off the entire thing. So it's, again, you've got a phenomenal collection of stuff for men and women over at Impress Jewelry Creations. A lot of one-of-a-kind pieces that you cannot find anywhere else. If you're looking for a truly unique piece, Impress Jewelry Creations is the only place to go in town, period. They're going to give you the highest quality, the most unique, perfect item for you and whoever you happen to be shopping for, even if it is yourself. There's nothing wrong with giving yourself a little love, by the way. Impress Jewelry Creations is also officially launching their own branded line, which is going to be phenomenal. I haven't had an opportunity to see all of their stuff yet. I have seen some, and it is absolutely stunning. One of the things I really love about Impress Jewelry Creations, they treat everybody who comes in there exactly the same. They treat everybody with respect, with dignity, and they take care of every customer. Doesn't matter what your budget is. And I've had numerous people reach out to me who have said that. They said, look, I came in after work. I didn't exactly look like I had a bunch of money, and they treated me like royalty. It was amazing. And that's just who they are. They're great people. They understand that everybody has different budgets, and they want to be able to take care of everybody and make sure that they get the best possible piece of jewelry that they can get and walk out of there completely satisfied because they know you're going to come back. That's the whole thing. They know you're going to come back. And I know that we're repeat customers over there. The anniversary present that I got my wife absolutely blew her away. She was stunned by it. And I just can't say enough about Impress Jewelry Creations. So visit them online, learn a little bit more about them at impressjewelers.com. And you can also visit their showroom in person. They're in Granger at 1233 University Drive. They're in City Plaza South, which is right next to Temper Grill and C. Kramer Interiors. Of course, please let them know that I sent you. Gary, welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Hi, Casey. It's Jerry, as you mentioned. Turned on Tucker last night, as I usually do, and he led me to believe there was going to be a local expert to talk about Mayor Pete. Instead, I saw some guy from Indy that I never heard of.
Tony?
You probably heard of him.
Tony Katz? Yeah, he's a buddy of mine.
He didn't have any local info. I was disappointed he didn't mention that the police union supported the Republican. Probably the first time in generations.
Yeah.
Any comments?
Well, Tony's a good guy. He's a friend of mine. I actually was supposed to call him today, and I wasn't able to because of meetings. I'm going to talk to him hopefully over the weekend. He's a friend of mine, and he's a really good radio host. Tony is fantastic, if that's who you're thinking of. And I will tell Fox that they have somebody a little bit closer to South Bend to talk about Mayor Pete.
Good.
But just a smidgen closer. But Tony's also in New York a lot, so he can go into the studio. So sometimes it makes him a more attractive get rather than remoting into somebody. So that's probably what ended up happening. But yeah, it's you're not the first person that has mentioned that to me because he was on Fox and Friends too. So yeah, but he's a really good radio host and he's very smart and he's a good guy.
Well, I hope you can get on.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you much.
Thank you.
Okay, you take care. I will do what I can to get on Tucker. We got more coming up. 95.3 MNC.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news and weather station.
Weather served up by the Prime Table Restaurant in Niles. Does your family or group meet regularly for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Just call the Prime Table to reserve tables for your next gathering.
Now, your home comfort experts, heating specialists' 5-day forecast.
The slow warm-up continues as we go through the weekend. Clouds will break a bit on Saturday. We'll see highs in the mid-30s, becoming partly cloudy. And then Saturday night, clouds start to fill back in. We'll start with a low of 24. Sunday, mostly cloudy, 38. We'll see a chance maybe of some drizzle or flurries by Sunday evening, and that will continue into early Monday. Monday, that slow warm-up also continues. We'll see highs in the upper 30s, still cloudy. The same goes for Tuesday. Little change, but then we'll start to see sunshine by Wednesday with highs in the mid-40s. In the ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather.
Sorry.
Even faster to your cell phone, thanks to the latest technological upgrades. But whether you already subscribe or want to start receiving them now,
Michiana Waste and Disposal will take a ton of garbage. I can personally attest to that.
45364 to continue receiving 953 MNC weather text alerts.
They absolutely will.
Weather text alerts hit your phone even faster. But you gotta text weather to 45364. Messaging data rate decline.
We've all been there before. Equipment malfunction can wreck your plant and shut down your office or facility. Let's be blunt, you don't have time for downtime. You need the confidence that comes with commitment to excellence, found at Final Phase Electric. Let us help you from the start. Upgrade or repair your current electrical systems, or get ahead of the game with a professional assessment that grows into a full-scale preventative maintenance schedule. Using advanced tools like thermal.
Wow, fact-checking jokes. So I just saw Alex post in the general channel on Discord about Jeremy Barr not getting the Durham report joke. If you don't have a sense of humor, this is how you behave. So, trust me, I deal with people who don't have a sense of humor all the time. I mean, everywhere. I can't get away from them. So, it's like they're epidemic or something. You don't read my email every day, Joe.
Not what I was.
Say something that is earth-shattering now that I've got the right button. I did hit it. It's just that my my touchpad is not as sensitive as my old one, so it doesn't always click over. I agree. I have the external mouse at home. I should plug it in. I agree with you 100%.
It's the first thing you buy.
But then it's like I'm still doing it with the left hand anyway because I have this stand over here, and I don't want to reach over and do that.
Put your external mouse.
I don't have room.
I see space.
This holiday season, like 5% back on the air
That's
fryer
awkward.
when he fell asleep in his chair.
That's awkward.
Let me press F on the world's tiniest
Your
keyboard.
sister had carolers soon. The Capital One Walmart Rewards card.
Take care, Sam. Appreciate it.
Including 5% back at Walmart Online. What's in your wallet?
Terms and exclusions apply. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively
Okay, what?
and invites qualified candidates.
Today's highlight is you saying,
So
okay,
while other companies might deliver a lot of pay, ZipRecruiter finds you a needle in the
Dude, I legit got a marketing email from one of my wholessalers that said, "Okay, Boomer." That was the subject. And I was like, really? Really? It made no sense, but okay. Let's go with whatever's hip with the kidsters these days. And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. And down to the past couple of minutes in the week, and just want to really take a moment and say thank you to everybody who has been supporting the live stream. Live stream came back this week, so that was good to have that back. Dana Bash is stupid, and she continues to embarrass herself. So Roger Stone was convicted. A couple of people asked me why I wasn't talking about the Roger Stone thing. It was a foregone conclusion with the stacked jury. If you haven't been following the Roger Stone jury fiasco, I didn't talk about it on the show, but it was an absolute fiasco. It honestly, just a stacked jury, literally have the husband of an Obama official on the jury. Like, it's nuts, okay? It's just absolutely crazy. So it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to be convicted. But Dana Bash says that this proves that Russia collusion is real. But he was convicted of process crimes that had nothing to do with collusion again. So you still have the same old people in the media making conclusions that have nothing to do with what actually happened. And I don't know how to help people like this. I really don't. You're just gonna have to deal with it, I guess. I will do what I can to get on Tucker Carlson as the local expert in South Bend. So I've had probably 4 or 5 people this week like, why is this guy who I've never heard of the local guy in South Bend? What's this? It's Tony Katz. He really is a great radio host and a good friend of mine. But but it's pretty funny. I'm gonna have to let him know that people are pretty irritated that he's the local expert
if you will, especially since he didn't think Pete Buttigieg was going to run. And I told him years ago, watch out, he's going to run. He's like, okay, whatever. Like, yeah, I told you. Anyway, folks, it is time for Bill O'Reilly and the O'Reilly Update. No, it's not. Am I early again? Did I do it again? I did it again. So, all right, have a good weekend. Now it is time for the O'Reilly Update with Bill O'Reilly.
2 days in a row, damn it. Son of a bitch.
It's time. And I went, well, okay.
Did you? I didn't even see your hands.
I was about to put my hands up to 10.
Didn't even see it.
Well, I went, okay, well.
They keep changing my damn times around on me.
They changed it in like a month.
I feel like it changes all the time. I count all of the WOWO appearances as time change.
You haven't done a WOWO thing.
I know we haven't. Let me roll with it. I'm tired. All right.
It's also hard for us to do WOWO because of Bill. Unless they finally got
Bill O'Reilly is on WOWO now, too. Yeah. He went later there. We got all the bugs out of the system. He went later there.
Oh, so we were the guinea pig.
Yes, of course.
I guess they knew we could handle it.
That's correct. We have the better crew. Friday, November 15th. I'm just filling out the daily show prep, titles and tags. And don't need that. Oh, that's actually a pretty good one. I like the yawn. That's good. I'll use that as a featured image. Wonderfully ironic.
Sure.
Indiana, District Court, Jersey, Islamic State, Yovanovich, Schiff, Republican Party, Jim Jordan, Stefanik, impeachment, congressional hearings, Swalwell, Trump, Twitter, democracy, show trial, Ukraine, and that'll do. Publish. There you go. Daily Show Prep is published, folks. Published. All right. Good show. Thank you. Appreciate it. Have fun at Costco. Can you have fun at Costco? Is that possible? I suppose it would be possible if you walked in and had like $5,000 to spend. Then you could have fun at Costco. Benjamin says he's been reading Jonah Goldberg's book, Liberal Fascism. I've had my understanding of the current playbook of the left enhanced tremendously. Got it on clearance at half price. Jonah Goldberg he's a smart dude. Really smart dude. Enjoy the box wine from Costco. Yup. Of course, the box wine will be in the form of whiskey.
Box whiskey?
but whatever. So, I was just talking to some people because 5 Star Dive Bar, their house wine is Jägermeister. So you have the drink list, and they go through all the wines that they have, and they go, the house wine is Jägermeister. It's great. Oh, man. All right, folks, I appreciate it. Any last-minute questions or anything like that, feel free to get them out right now before I disappear on you for a couple of days. And I did have somebody ask me in the texting today that I answered in text, but I didn't answer on the stream, if I'm going to have any handmade knives this holiday season. The goal is to have several. I don't know how that's all going to go, but we will see. So I'm hoping. I've got to have them finished. I've got 5 SPKTs nearly done. Those are handmade, but those are low-budget items. The ones that I'm looking at making now are going to be like probably $150 to $300 range. So we'll I'll let you know when we have that. Okay. And hopefully I don't screw them up because that happens a lot too. All right. Well, I don't do the sample thing at Costco. I'm not a sample whore. You go to Costco? No? I've never been a sample whore. I don't know why that, when I was a little kid I was, but as an adult, I've never been interested in taking all the samples at Costco or any other place. Just never interested in me. I'm kind of icked out by it, to be honest with you.
sale to the installation.
Like there's a bunch of other people near my food. I don't know. Just not my thing. Not my thing.
We didn't do Dunkin' again.
Son of a
Krispy Kreme.
damn it!
You just not want to do the story, Casey? It's a good story. Whatever, man. It's fine. Yeah.
We are single-handedly responsible for that guy getting a delivery van, and we're not updating people on it.
So CBS News Super Bowl earlier.
Fridays are just one of those days, though. You go into open line. I basically have an hour. Then you go into open lines for the rest of the show, and it's hard to get. I've got a bunch of stuff, honestly, that I could talk about. Big developments in the Flynn case. A judge slammed the federal government over Andrew McCabe. We've got Venice, the whole situation with Venice that's happening right now. Rashida Tlaib. We've got documents with Rashida Tlaib asking her campaign to give her personal cash, which is a big no-no. We've got a lot. We really do. But, that MMA fighter who took down that Antifa protester, the female, she's getting death threats, and they're trying to deplatform her. We got the woman who took her phone in to be repaired by the Apple Store employee, and he stole all of her nudes. I mean, we have a whole bunch of stuff that we could talk about.
No sensational evidence or even vivid whatsoever.
We got viral video of school food workers throwing out hot lunches for students because they had a balance. That's always a good topic. Always get people to call on that and pretend that they love kids. Tons. So there's all sorts of stuff that we could do. Ouch. Okay. Are we ready to do this? Which one do I want to tease? Which one do I want to tease? I got the ICE officials talking about how many migrant kids are being recycled by various groups.
Most Americans believe this whole thing is a partisan political exercise designed to damage Trump because the Democrats really don't have anybody to run against. Now, this whole thing.
All right. Doop. Casey Hendrickson here. A federal judge has... No, I don't want to say federal twice. Casey Hendrickson here. A judge has slammed the federal government for things... No. I don't want to say this here. Okay. Casey Hendrickson here. The federal... No. The federal government's not slamming a judge. All right. It's a Friday. You can tell. Casey Hendrickson here. A judge has slammed the federal government over Andrew McCabe. We'll tell you what's going on Monday, 3 to 6 on 95.3 MNC. There you go. Minimal screw-ups. Dude. 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 That could be my notification on Alexa.
Could be.
Dude. 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 Nice.
We have.
Casey Hendrickson here. A judge has slammed the federal government over Andrew McCabe. We'll tell you. Okay. I'll give you a few seconds to get the Discord link, and then I'm going to bounce. There you go. The Discord link is also available on theburningtruth.us. Okay? Click on any blog post and you will get an invite to the Discord link. So if you go to today's show prep, the Discord will be up there.
Update will return with something you might not know. Do you or a loved one suffer from sleep apnea and require...
All right. I'm going to bounce out, ladies and gentlemen. I do have to go to the store since the wife is giving me a honey-do list now. So you have a wonderful weekend. Again, thanks for the support. I appreciate it. I'll see if I can do anything about the audio for the station audio being mono. I'll do my best. But you all have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. We'll see you Monday. Helps if my finger didn't move the